All right, welcome everyone to an episode of Club Baroness. We're going to be podcasting and covering the upcoming tournament that's going down tomorrow, the X Generation Tournament as it's been dubbed. It will be a mixed new players and veterans tournament with some forced partner restrictions. So it should be a lot of fun. There's $400 on the line for the winning team, $100 to second place. We've got, it looks like right now it's 19 or 20 teams signed up. And then joining me here tonight, we have Blazy.
Yep.
We've also got Jesse.
Hello, everybody. Just say hi, I guess, in chat.
LiteSpectre.
Hey, reporting from Texas.
Taxes. Pippo.
What's happening? Sorry. That caught me off guard.
Yeah, I didn't get the taxes one. That one went over my head, I suppose.
I think that was Texas. Unless you're actually in the IRS building. Yes, I'm reporting live from the IRS building.
It could be both. An IRS
No,
building
Infiltrated the
Texas.
IRS.
Oh my god.
So which is it? Texas or taxes, LiteSpectre?
It's Texas.
Texas.
But
Oh, okay. My apologies. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. We were kind of discussing before the podcast, and we thought it might just be a fun short topic at the beginning. Is it going?
It is at 1080 for me. I can see at 1080. I don't know what.
Yeah, I saw somebody in the chat. They're like a 240p there, and I was like,
I don't know.
It should be 1080.
It's running pretty high res for me. For me, it's high res.
Yeah, you may need to refresh.
IRS is fun.
Here's what they returns.
Oh my god.
IRS is funding the tournament. Well, no. Actually, I mean, if for those who don't know, I guess this is actually a good starting point. It's being funded by a third party. He's hoping to be more involved next time. Some issues arose for him. He was actually going to do all of the production for this tournament as well, but he lost his job during the planning stage and then got a new job and had to move in the middle of it. But we have a benefactor. He goes by Ito, E-T-O-H, on Twitter. You can look him up. He is formerly a content creator / tournament organizer and caster that worked for Dignitas. He is going to be starting in a new job working for, I forget the name of the entity now, but it is the company that was MLG. You know, like those big tournaments that they used to run, MLG. They got bought out by another company and changed names, but it's mostly the same thing, but they have a broader spectrum of things they do now. So he's going to be working for them. He's also freelanced for years for Riot doing Valorant content, and it sounds like he's also done some Counter-Strike content. So he's a fairly known name in esports. He's taken an interest in the community and our smaller esport that we have here, and he is funding the prize pool for the tournament, and he was going to do all the production for it, but he's kind of in a bit of a time of flux right now, so he's not able to do that. He's hoping to do that for another tournament following this one. But yeah, that's where the prize pool came from. None of us here are big pocket-loaded people, so it wasn't a crowd-funded prize pool, and this will be the biggest prize for any Phantom Dust tournament that there's ever been. So
Wait, what about that Bregan drip? I heard there was Bregan drip.
no, I am a stay-at-home dad, so
Respect.
Yeah.
So that's how we got here. But what is going to be? How's the casting going to work? Is somebody going to be streaming this? I guess because there's no spectator mode in Phantom Dust. How is the stream going to work?
Well, ideally, we're hoping to get one person from each room streaming as best we can. And I have two options. I can either do like the last tournament and bounce around multiple rooms here and there each game, or I can focus each round on one matchup and then bounce into another room once that one ends. So I haven't decided for sure yet. I might leave that up to popular opinion, maybe do a little poll before the tournament starts. Or I might just
And
go
where
wherever I'm
can people watch
interested.
this?
Okay.
But you'll be able to watch it through my stream. I'll have all coverage there. And then any matches I don't catch live, which round 1 is going to have a lot of. There's going to be a ton of matches round 1 not caught live. We will try and cast the backlog of all of those. I'll probably do some. I might let Toffee do some on his own. We might farm some out to other casters like Affin. I'm not sure if some of the others like Choices, I don't think they have their own ability to produce content, but we'll see who's interested, and we'll try and cast the entire backlog of matches. Can't promise they'll be done before round 2 though, because we're looking at, what's that, 10 matches each round? So
Right, I
that's
imagine you'd want to
like 40
feature
total.
1 or 2 matches,
Yeah.
so you can keep it close to live.
Yeah, I'll do my best to catch what I can live, but we'll try and make sure we get all of that which isn't caught live also casted and uploaded.
Yeah, usually who is that goes back and does the backlogs of Phantom Dust content?
Well, it's usually also me, but Affin has
Joe
also
does
done
it
some
sometimes.
content.
Yeah.
Yeah, Affin would do some videos occasionally whenever I was running tournaments and organizing things, and then I stopped playing for about a year or two, and Affin did 1 or 2 tournaments by himself during that time, but I don't think he got all of the content in those. I know his time is a little more limited.
I know, like, even though the last tournament, he didn't really clip everything, but I'm still grateful for, like, the ones he did clip. I know he clipped, like, one of the games I was in, like, during the last tournament, or, like, the first newbie
Oh yeah,
one
he
game.
did help clean up some with this last tournament. He managed to get some of those that hadn't been caught live, and that was definitely big appreciated as well. He's always been great. I know he's also he's doing most of the Guild Wars stuff. So if you're involved in Guild Wars and you have guild matches, he's the one that's supposed to be doing all the casting for that as well.
Right. So we got a lot of veterans on the cast right now. Who I guess I want to ask, like, how did you guys get into Phantom Dust to start with, and how long really have y'all been playing?
Are you talking about here in this podcast?
Yeah.
Well, that's me, you, and Blazy then. Let's let Blazy start on that.
All right, so I started playing Phantom Dust back in 2000, I think it was 2010. It was mostly split screen. I didn't really hit the online on the OG Xbox until, I don't know, until I felt like I needed like more of a challenge, because it was just me and my friends. Like, we all just kept playing split screen.
Was that on the 360 when they did the backwards compatibility?
Yeah,
Nice.
because we thought we was a stuff. We took it from the OG Xbox to 360, and back then 360 was the ish. Like,
Oh yeah.
not bad. Except for that red ring of death. But besides that, well, we had like a lot of fun games, and then I joined a Facebook group and took it from there. I got a lot better at it. To be honest, I wasn't as good as I thought I was back then, because I think my first 2 matches or tag matches was against Ebony and Xanxus. And I got like scolded. I was like,
So they've been good for quite a while, I guess.
oh yeah.
That was
Here.
like a decade ago, and they're still good.
That's where I got my I learned my manuals from Xanxus, and patience and aggression from Ebony. So it's like a mixed playstyle of both of them. So you'll see me doing a lot of defense and then manual, just mainly lasers. But yeah, 2010 is when I started, and I got into the Phantom Dust Facebook group, and just been playing it from there. Been a lot of people playing with me too. A lot of people been coming and going, but the ones who stayed, they've got better over time, and that's what I'm hoping the tournaments will do. Most of the people in the Happy Hour Discord who continue to play, they are a lot better than they was like week 1 when everybody filtered in. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, there's been a lot of growth out of some of the new players. I'm hoping to see some of those players reach ceilings of some of the other top players, but time will tell on that one, I suppose. I guess you're one of our other 2 veterans then. Light, you want to tell us how you got into Phantom Dust?
Yeah, so in like 2004, I saw this like trailers for this on like pre-YouTube. It was like Xbox.com had like a preview for this. Because I was like into anime and stuff. So like okay, there's this crazy looking. It's all in Japanese. I don't even know what's going on, but I see like people shooting lasers and jumping around as that original trailer, and the music is just so good. I was like, I have to get this game. And then of course they canceled it for American release. So I'm over here trying to figure out how am I going to import this game, and then I find out that it doesn't even work because the Xboxes were region locked.
I actually tried to import the Japanese version. Wow.
Yeah, it
That is
because of
die
region
hard.
lock.
Wow.
Yeah, but what I learned was I didn't have to wait too long because a couple months later in like spring 2005 they announced, hey, we're bringing it to Majesco's bringing it to America. And I was like, this is great. I'm buying this game at like day one, and it comes out and it's $20, which normally games launched at 50 back then. And I'm like, this is perfect for my budget. And then I got my Halo group. I had a regular Xbox Live Halo group, and I got them to pick it up too. And we had some good times with playing around with all the skills. And the big thing was we couldn't stay up too late. Most of my online friends were from West Coast, but we couldn't stay up too late because if we did, the Japanese people would get online and they would just crush us. Like
they
I'd be
would
getting
have-
like backdraft bullet comboed, and I'd like have no idea what's going on. But we had a ton of fun with that back in 2004. But then I dropped off and like didn't know that the community continued in 2010, so I wasn't around for that. But I just rejoined when Nick's video came out and the Discord started.
Nice.
So I'm back at it. How about you, Bregan?
Geez, I am one of. It depends on how you look at it. I'm one of the oldest you'll find when it comes into getting into this game, and like mainstay in the community. But at the time, there was still like a whole culture of it before I joined in about 2005. I got into it from a friend of mine in high school, and I had played the demo on the original disc, the Xbox magazine that went around with the original Xbox.
Oh, right, they had demo discs.
They had
'Cause there was
demo
no,
discs.
there was no hard drive on the thing. You couldn't download a game.
It was also like some of those demo discs would list like 4 games, and then sometimes there'd be like a secret game, and Phantom Dust was like a secret demo on one of the discs. And so I had played through. It had just like the first couple of missions on it, and so I played the first couple of missions, and I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. And then my friend actually had the game and got me into it. And so I got into it as well back in rural West Virginia, us two nerds playing this game together and jumping online with other people. And I got really good at it. I ran into a room with Guinan and PDDCM, otherwise known as Eldavio at the time, and they just dunked on me over and over again. And I was like, I don't want to get dunked on by these friggin' losers. I'm going to get better at this. And they beat the snot out of me until I was better at the game. And played a ton of tournaments back then. Really enjoyed the forums. Servers went down, and so I didn't play Phantom Dust for a while because there was no server for it. And then there had been these stirrings that, like, teasers about a possible sequel for Phantom Dust that were, I think it was like around 2013, 2012. There was a couple of teasers. And there was really no community anymore because the servers were down, the forums were gone, and I was just like, I want to dig up the old crew. And I started the Phantom Dust Revived Facebook group, although at the time it was called the Phantom Dust Revival Campaign, and just started hitting up people. I managed to get a hold of the old forum admin, and he sent out emails basically saying, hey, anybody who wants to gather for Phantom Dust, go check out the Facebook group. And we grew from there. We hung out for a couple of years reminiscing, and then they did the remake in 2016, and so we changed the name to Phantom Dust Revived, and that was the community for Phantom Dust, like the community up until the Nick Robinson video, and we've all kind of moved to Discord since. But yeah,
Nice.
I've been in here way too long. Way too many
What
tournaments.
got you, Pippo? What got you into it?
So I had sort of come from a card game background in general. I played Yu-Gi-Oh for a lot of my life. I played it since I was a little kid. Sort of got into Magic a little bit. There were friends of mine who played it in like marching band, and they were like, "Oh, this game's really cool. You should join it." I'm like, "Okay, whatever." But to me, I mean, sorry, Magic players, but it didn't seem like all that exciting, at least compared to the pace of Yu-Gi-Oh. So when I saw Nick Robinson's video, I was subscribed to him, and he started explaining this game, and it's like, oh, it's got the mana system of Magic. It's got a lot of those same balancing things. And it also has the element of having to dodge real time, having to defend if you need to, having to play around other people's hands at any given time because you can see it. A lot of that strategy appealed to me because a lot of it sort of revolves around game knowledge, which I really, really liked, as opposed to, just getting comboed for 10 minutes like you do in Yu-Gi-Oh! And having nothing to say about it. So I like having that edge to be able to study the game and be able to really get in deep on the knowledge of something to actually better yourself.
Right on, right on. And Jesse?
Yeah, so I kind of got into the game, again, like Pippo, like from the Nick Robinson video, but like not like, unlike Pippo, I'm not really like a card game person, and I think like before Nick Robinson, like kind of my idea of like card games was just like, it was just kind of way too elitist, and like you have to just buy so many cards, like if you want to get good. I was just like, no, that sounds like, why would you buy like spend so much money on all these items just to get good at a game, like. And now I'm just describing Diablo Immortal now. Anyway, where was I? Yeah, so basically, I kind of mainly just joined the game because I wanted to see, like, how it would work with, like, strategy, because I'm kind of more of, like, a strategy player. I play, like, 4X games, like Civilization, that, and also, like, kind of sim games, like Factorio, or, like, I don't know. Yeah, but anyway, or City Builders as well. So, like, I kind of come from like a strategy gamer background, so when I saw the Nick Robinson video, I'm like, okay, I'll try it just to see how this is working a bit different. And then I kind of played just single player by myself, and then when it came to like the happy hour, I think I joined like the day before, and then I just kind of was in the happy hour, and I think after that happy hour, I would just focus entirely on just getting better at the game, and then I took place and then I just went into the tournament as well. That first one, I did very poorly. I only got like what 2 points. But
I remember you
and
had a
now
rough
here,
day.
what?
I said I remember you had a rough day.
Oh no, I was just not good. Basically, I don't think I'm good either. Even now, like now I'm kind of back at university, and I kind of have way less time to like play the game actually. So I'm not really expecting to do well in this tournament, but like I'm just kind of all I'm hoping for is at the very most just getting to like round two because I didn't get that last time. But I just kind of want to hope that hopefully my skills just don't go unnoticed this time around. Hopefully there's something in me that like just shines through, I guess. But yeah, anyway, I've just been yeah, so anyway, I've just been kind of grinding over, like, just July. I'm probably going to slow down, like, now that I'm back in college, and I'm not sure if I'll be back in another tournament until, like, the winter, but yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now, so hopefully this goes well for me.
Nice.
And now I'm just kind of transitioning back there.
So, what appeals to you about Phantom Dust? Like, what are your favorite types of decks? Because like, not coming from a card game background, it's kind of interesting.
You know, okay, so, like, after the tournament, I think it was because of Affin, like, and also just, like, some reactions of people, like, in the lobby, I transitioned to, like, start doing, like, arsenals that were fast, because it was, like, nobody else was doing them, and I was, like, people were kind of shocked about it, so let's see if I can, like, do more with that. And I was kind of running just Tiger Speed, because I was just, like, a +5, and then eventually, like, I kind of ran that for quite a while, and then I'm kind of just, like, toning that a lot down, and just kind of focusing on, like, buffs basically, or really just attack buffs, and just like I just use dash instead if I want to just like get out of the way of something, which I kind of starting to like a bit more just like as general. And yeah, maybe I'll use lightning speed like for in the future. I'll probably use that eventually again, but yeah, that's kind of what I was using for like a while, I think. And people who probably played with me after the tournament would probably know that really well, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, Tiger Strength and Lightning Speed. Those are fun pair of skills. You end up just like buffing yourself just every 15 seconds, just like, hey, I've got to hold
Just
on.
because.
Yeah.
You know, there'll be times I get to like +9, but then I think the main reason I dropped it was because I didn't want to get to like to negatives and just get really slow. That makes you very vulnerable, basically.
The
And I
armor
didn't
is
really
brilliant.
feel like the plus speed really helped me with like actually getting hits because people would just keep dodging. So I think that was also the major reason I just like dropped that strat entirely, basically.
Yeah, because you run into people that start playing Armoros.
Yeah, exactly. Or neutralization was not bad, but like Armros was what really killed me basically with that strat. It's not too bad if you have like lightning speed, but yeah. But yeah, using like just speed ups is also kind of a bad idea as well. Basically, I kind of learned from that.
I think
That's one thing that struck me as good about this game is that there's so much so much counterplay to every good strategy.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think almost every new player goes through a stat whore phase.
Yeah.
It's
I
pretty
think
natural.
that for me was just like speed ups.
Actually,
I go
for
through
me-
one of those phases like every other month too, more than other players. But that's just because I am shameless, I suppose.
I mean, you got to keep it fresh if you've been playing for over a decade.
Okay, so there's like 4 buffs, obviously, right? The attack, there's speed, and then there's ore recovery and the acquisition, which is like increases the
Accuracy.
homing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Rank. I want to hear what everyone thinks like of those, like just ranking them from like best to worst, out of curiosity.
Oh, that's
Oh,
easy.
okay.
Damage,
Yeah.
speed, acquisition, meditation.
Yeah, that sounds fair.
Yeah.
I think I'm at the same
I think
opinion,
speed
yeah.
is a little underrated, but the problem is that you aren't hurt as bad by -1 damage as much as you are by -2 speed. So like it's more
Like
risky.
-1 can still make the difference between breaking a shield and not breaking it, but
Taking
yeah,
multiple.
I don't know. I think speed, like, you want to be able to just dodge stuff, and I think speed, probably having that negative speed does hurt you more, though.
I would say speed is pretty close to damage, but damage is less risky, and it is, I'd say it's better at winning the game, whereas speed is better at not losing the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you can't get to your partner or get from point A to point B, then that
Oh
could
yeah, for
decide a whole
recovery,
match.
that's really good.
But if you have -1 or -2 damage, you can still fight the fight. Like example, it can turn some situations into a pro instead of a con if you have a lightning sword, right? And
Oh yeah, so
you
you can
already
just
know
like
you get
stun them
one
instead
hit
of
off.
just knocking them down, basically, right?
Yeah, you can take multiple shields that way, or combo it with something else just because it causes a stun.
That's really clever, actually. Yeah,
Yeah.
cause like when you buff a hyper kick, it just basically just knocks them down. It's not really that helpful. I mean, unless you just want to run away, I guess. But for setting up combos, it's not that good. So like, yeah, that's actually just doing like the minus damage. That seems really powerful, though. Yeah.
But change the situation and then do -2 speed instead of having a attack buff. You're slowly walking and you can't dodge,
Yeah,
most
there's like
kills.
no combo opportunity basically, unless you just like do I don't know like a photon burst, I guess. That's like kind of the only thing. But then it's like that's like just a one-trick pony, really.
I
I
think
Yeah,
talk way too loud. I'm sorry.
I think
that makes
acquisition would also be rated more highly and be more valuable if Psycho wasn't just a bad school.
Mm,
it got
That's
some of
fair.
the best defenses.
Yeah, that's
They
one of my
do.
current arsenals is like an acquisition crawlers deck.
Like Psycho isn't
Mm.
completely trash, but like it is easily the weakest of the 5 schools.
Look, Psycho Shell. Everyone's like up on this shield this shelter shield. Psycho
It is
Shell.
probably the best defense in the game, or at least top
It is
3. but
very solid.
There's
I
just
also like Psycho Wall. I feel like that's also kind of underrated.
just a lot of issues with Psycho in general as a school. Like
Mhm.
unless you're running Psycho Burst or Bravery, which in tournament play you probably shouldn't be running Bravery. Unless you're running one of those two things, you'd be better off with a different school.
I'm a fan of reverse as well. Like reverse. You can do some fun things with reverse.
I've gotten caught off guard a few times by reverse, I will say.
It's not. I mean, it's not great, but like you can you don't feel a Phantom Dust until you have 2 people lasering you and you reverse both of the lasers.
Like I wouldn't
feel
say
so
it's
powerful.
ridiculously weaker than other schools, but it is noticeably weaker than other schools.
Right, your options
Mhm.
are interesting.
Yeah.
Like if you had acquisitions as part of a different school, I think that it would be a more useful stat. But it's not, sadly.
It's one of the schools that
All right,
doesn't have
we
a.
should shift to the
So-
tournament here soon. Do we still want to do the discussion on where people's names came from, or do you think we're waxing?
I
on?
wanted to do that. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, we'll do that, but let's try and show a little
We'll
brevity.
be brief about it.
That we were hanging out beforehand and we were talking about where people's name came from, and so we thought it would be fun to discuss here on the podcast. So there was interest in Pippo, not the hippo, to
Yeah.
lead us off.
Right. So yeah, of no relation to hippos. It's just it's so weird, right? Because like the name usually, usually it's some variation of Pip, like just PIP, and it's just the name of that bear that's in my profile picture. I had him when I was a little kid, and I was like, that's Pip. He's great. And it just worked as a screen name for a while.
You had a bear
I
as a
did
kid?
some- Yeah, well, yeah, a pet bear. It was a black bear. It was a very dangerous existence as a child, but it is what it is.
I
No,
would like some elaboration on pet black bear.
it's
The
just a
guy
small.
who's
It's
like,
just,
"We gotta
it's just
keep
a
it short."
small. It's a small teddy bear. It's a small teddy bear.
Oh,
That's it.
okay. Small
Um,
teddy bear.
Yeah. But so I went from that to using that as a name for doing music, and then whenever someone asked, "Oh, this is your name doing music? Are you a rapper?" I'm like, No, because it used to be Little Pip, and I was like, "Oh, well, that's probably giving people the wrong impression." So
I
as
will
of
require
recently,
a Phantom Dust rap from you by the end of this.
I could try to. I could at least make a beat out of like a Phantom Dust sample. I could maybe do that.
And he says he's not a rapper.
I can make the beat. I won't rap on it.
By the end of the
Production is not
podcast,
rapid.
homework is due.
But yeah. So that's kind of where it all comes from. Recently, within the past year, I changed it to Pippo, or like I've started using it because someone in a different Discord started calling me that. I was like, yeah, I'll go with that. But Pip's usually fine. Like if anyone wants to use it.
Okay. It sounded like Jesse was the one that had the interest in it, and so there must be
Yeah.
something behind Jesse. So
So let's talk about my name. I've said the story many times before, like even on a different podcast.
this wild and crazy name of Jesse, nobody's ever heard it.
No,
His
okay.
in-game name.
We're not talking about Jesse. We're
Oh,
talking
elusive
about
cracker.
yes, that one. Okay, so the story goes that I bought my Xbox One during Christmas, and I had to make a new account because there was an issue with a different account I used to use for my Xbox 360. So I made a new Xbox account, and that was literally the name it gave me. And when I was a kid, I didn't even know that anything about like negative about the word cracker. So like I kind of just used it without realizing it. And then only when I grew up, I was like, even before I joined the server, I knew there was like issues with that name, and I never just bothered to change it because I didn't want to spend
Are you
money
telling
on
me you
it.
never went to middle school and nobody told you about the party game?
What party game?
Wait, what?
Oh, I'm not going into that.
Yeah, so like interesting thing actually, a little fact that and in the server apparently I got a message like literally 2 days ago by
Google
Murder
that one.
in the general chat, literally just telling me he didn't know I was going by that name until like that moment. Apparently he doesn't know why, but that surprised me. And I even said like in response, "Oh, I really gotta update that now." But he apparently said, "Oh, what? No, lol, that name is awesome." So I don't know what to think about that name really. I'm probably gonna change it most likely. Just like Gramix is what I use usually like online now. That's like the modern name I kind of just go by now. Just like in like online communities. If I'm not going by my first name Jesse, that is. So yeah.
All right, let's do Blazy. Full tag is Blazian Blazy, but didn't it used to be Blazy Blazian or Blaze something? Wasn't it backwards before?
It was backwards before. So my nickname came around. It was a childhood nickname. It was just Blazy at the time. 2010 through I think 2015. I got into let me back up. I started learning Korean language, and well, it was Korean and then Japanese. I got into K-pop. I met some other artists and start collaborating with them. So I ended up making Korean hip hop music, and the name changed from Blazy to Blazy because it just kind of just fit together.
Are you
And
are you ethnically Blasian as well, or is that just because of your interest in Asian cultures?
because of my interest in Asian culture, but
Okay.
technically I can say yes now because my wife is Asian. Aha! So
There you
I
go.
claim what I can.
Any
But
kids yet?
nah,
Okay, I was gonna say
eventually,
because they can claim it.
yeah, they'll carry that trait. Like they'll actually have like that title.
Now, I could be wrong because it's been a long time and I don't generally talk to people about this in depth, but my understanding is that Murder is half Asian, half African American.
Nice.
His old tag was Tokyo Magnum.
Yeah, I saw that.
So, I don't know. Maybe that was just something he thought was fun because he was an anime nerd as a teenager when we were playing Phantom Dust in 2005. But, I don't know. Maybe it's true. I haven't asked him in the modern day.
Oh,
All right, we got LiteSpectre left. Where
Yeah.
does
Oh, you,
your
Bregan?
name come from?
Yeah, we got
Oh, Pippo
Bregan with
left.
the
Pippo left.
Bregan's got
Pippo's
the
offended.
this is
Damn.
Sparta. I don't think I've seen that image since like 2005. Your avatar.
I haven't updated my memes and name since 2003, so
Okay,
basically.
yeah.
Go ahead and tell
So
us yours
LiteSpectre-
first, though.
Yeah, LiteSpectre came from because I needed a gamer tag and everyone was dark and edgy, so I had to be like the opposite. So it was originally LIGHT, but then like that's not cool. So then it's LITE, and Spectre. That's it. I just needed something cool with it that wasn't edgy. I guess my avatar is more interesting. It's from this game by Jason Rohrer. He made a weird demonic gambling game, and one of the demon symbols from the game is my avatar, which is the demon who ensures victory in all games.
Huh.
sound like some Death Note.
Yeah, like some Death Note stuff. You can look him up. It's let's see, Minosones, like Minosoons. I don't know. Probably not great to say his name out loud.
Beetlejuice.
Minosons. I don't Minosons. Google doesn't like it because it thinks I'm typing in minions.
Yeah, I guess mine, the profile picture, I've basically used that one everywhere since like 2005. I mean, not on. I was on Facebook for a long time where I just used my own picture, but on the original Phantom Dust forum, that's what I used too. Was the caution? This is Sparta. Old meme. It's a classic at this point.
Yeah.
A classic.
It's like
So-
a 60s muscle car kind of deal. Oh, what is that?
So what are we?
the-
So the tournament. What's the bracket? I guess not the bracket, but like, what are the teams looking like? I haven't even looked at who's entered.
It's man.
Oh, I see. Now you don't want to know about my name. I see.
Oh, what? Oh, sorry. I didn't realize we skipped your name. I thought that you were done with the avatar thing.
I don't know. We're moving on now. You don't want to know where my name came from. I'm going to be
You
offended
wanna
for
know.
life.
I want to know, Bregan. Come on.
Bregan. Part of me thought Bregan was your actual name.
No,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah. Bregan's a good name.
My mom
good
and
to know that too.
my mom and my
My
wife have both
YouTube
joked
name?
about me changing my name to Bregan because my first name is a really weird name that nobody knows in the first place. It's Dallin, Dallin. So
Oh, that's okay.
So, like,
For the
nobody
longest,
knows
I
that
was-
name to begin with. Like, Bregan is probably somehow more common than that. There's like,
I put two and two together since like that's the name you put like on the Phantom Dust
the
Revived
YouTube,
channel.
yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah,
I
'cause
kind of
that's-
put it together. That's like your actual.
well, that's
name,
because it
but
uses
anyway.
my Gmail for that, and so it had my name attached to it because it's my Gmail.
Oh, okay.
I guess I could have been, created a separate account for it, but I was really lazy when I was first setting everything up, and then I'd had so much stuff on it already. I didn't want to make like a new channel and everything. But yeah, the name Bregan, I was like 2012, whenever Xbox Live was first coming out, and everybody was making their names, and I didn't want to be like, Shadow Phoenix or something like that, like super edgy. And I just took, if anybody's read the old D&D novels from R.A. Salvatore that features Dristorden, there is an organization in there that's like, it's a mercenary company. It's called like Bregan or something. So I just took the first part of that and made it a name and added some numbers. And I've run with that since 2003. Just never changed it.
Nice.
Old book reference. All right. Weird names. I guess I should pull whatever this is up. Hold on.
Oh, the start, GG.
I was going to pull up whatever this cursed image you sent was.
It's that one screenshot of Meister that everyone posts at some point or another, and then I did a few edits, and now it's Phantom Dustin.
I guess I can see that now.
Like he's
Well,
been.
this is not great audio content.
Oh yeah, you also missed the meme I sent like when we started the podcast. By the way, the one I sent like.
Oh, I saw it. I just
Before the
haven't
other
put
one.
it up because we hadn't talked about the tournament yet. I was saving it for relevant context.
I see. Okay.
Yes.
Good one.
I had plans.
There are segues in place.
All right, let me move that off here, and I will send you guys the link as well. Why can't I get rid of that now? What have I done?
Yes.
All right. Nope, that's not it. Remove attachment and copy the link and then send the link. All right, so you should be able to see the teams now as well in that little chat bar.
Or I can watch
For whatever
the stream.
reason, the way this website has it set up, it doesn't show them all on one page because that would just be easy. But I figure we'll talk about the various teams we have. We don't have to spend a ton of time. We don't have matchups yet. Normally, we like to have matchups a little bit in advance, but we decided for this one we would release them day of, shortly before
Wait,
the
I
tournament.
thought I saw them earlier in like star.gg like a few hours ago. I literally just saw the matchups on my side.
If you have seen them, they are likely to change, so don't make plans based on anything you've seen.
Okay.
Because we can re-randomize them, and the plan was to randomize them shortly before the tournament. So don't plan anything that you've seen if you have seen anything.
Okay, got it.
And the randomization, because before we didn't used to use a website to do this. It was just something I did by hand. I would type out all the teams, and I would go to, I think it's random.org.
That's a good website.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a list randomizer on here, somewhere down here. List. And that's what I used to use there. There it is, the list randomizer. And so I would do it live, and I would just type in everybody's there, and then I would make the pairings. But since we're using StartGG, it's going to be all built into it. So there's not going to be any question about, whether or not things were done live or not. It's all taken care of by its own software.
Nice.
So let's talk about the teams in order then. Are you guys seeing the same order I do, where it starts with like the top line, LiteSpectre, Cosmo, Indicus?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I see
Yes.
it. Are we just gonna go left and right?
Yeah, we'll do starting like if we were reading. Some of the teams I know most of the teams, but for example, I don't know the second one. General, I hadn't covered this before we started this, but if it's your team, we're not going to ask you for too much input on it. We might ask you how you found your partner, but we're not going to ask you to predict how you did. Talking about your own team or yourself, it almost just always makes you sound like a narcissist, so don't bother. But the first team is LiteSpectre and Cosmo Cryptex.
I thought Cosmo dropped out though.
No, so Cosmo
do day
can't
two.
make Cosmo can't make day 2 of the tournament, but that's okay because we're not gonna we're not gonna win enough to make day 2, so it'll be fine.
I see. Okay.
That's my plan.
And if
my
you
prediction-
somehow make day 2, we'll figure out something. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about that team. I guess we could start off with how you two got together, Light and
Yeah, I mean, I was just putting in an open call for like teammates. I didn't because everybody had already paired up that I had played with before. Because I would only play with like regulars like Eat and Pippo here.
Yep.
But but everybody found I've already found their partners, and then I needed a date to the Phantom Dust prom, so I just put out an open forum, and I did get paired. I forgot his name. I played with him earlier. I think it's Surreal Sam. I tried playing with him, but he's on the other side of the world, so it was like lag was a big issue. Um, we couldn't really like mesh well together because there was like a ping of like zero point 0.4 seconds.
ouch.
But I did I played a few practice games with crypto or with Cosmo, and it's we've got some unique arsenals, but I don't have high hopes because I know how good the other vets are. But I'll be happy to win a few games.
All right. What are other people's opinions on this team coming in?
So I've played games against Cosmo, not against LiteSpectre. So part of what I'm gonna say is mostly to Cosmo, but I'm not sure if Cosmo will pull his weight, but we'll see. That's all I'm gonna really say about that.
Ouch.
I'm sorry.
This guy's throwing
No, he
insults
did.
already. You are
I
my
played-
kind of people. I'm sick of
Bringing on
these
the drama.
pansies that come on this podcast and aren't willing to insult anyone. You're my man. You are my man.
This is a call out.
God, I'm sorry. Like, yeah, like I've been playing games with like Cosmo. Like sometimes you just say weird stuff, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know. That's just my personal opinion about that. It's just like it kind of weirds me out. But I mean, I'm hoping you guys do well though. I'm hoping it works out. But maybe it's just that me and him just don't mesh well. Maybe you guys do better than that. Maybe you guys can pull something off interesting with that. Who knows? I obviously just like an outside of that. So maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong, honestly.
Pippo,
well,
Blazy, do you want to tell Jesse why he's wrong?
Yeah, I think you got to give somebody a chance to shine. They do best when they're doubted. But I've played with LiteSpectre separate from Cosmo and Cosmo separate from LiteSpectre, like just with different teammates, and they seem to have some type of synergy on just setting up stuff. I don't know if they have like specific. Well, everybody's gonna have a specific strategy, so I won't say too much because I don't want to spoil anything. If I am, but I feel like he got the hang of stuff.
So you're saying he's going to hang? Got it.
I feel like he'll survive.
We're reading between the lines.
Fair enough. Who's next up on the list?
It's Indicus and it's Othis.
I haven't played.
I don't
against
know
him.
either of those.
I played against
Sure.
these two last week. I think it was myself and RTS against these two. They are very new to the server. And I don't really know if that's like a dock against them or not. Because from what I can tell, they can get stuff going. And not a lot of it I was expecting. There were skills that I never thought I had to play around. So maybe I could see them taking people off guard with stuff like that. But otherwise, I mean, I definitely think there are, especially teams with a new player in a vet or players that have been around for the month in a vet who will do, I think, go farther than they will.
Okay. Anybody else recognize those names at all?
I don't.
All right, then we got Laggy Ducks and Steve Mervin. This is another team. I thought I knew most of the people in this, but I'm seeing a lot of names that I'm not recognizing.
I've never seen these people before.
Yeah, I haven't played against them either.
Yeah, there's inevitably going to be a team or two that doesn't show up. I'm hoping we don't have a bunch, but the names that none of us recognize, there's probably a decent chance that those will be one of the teams that just don't happen to show up. But if they do, I will be excited to watch Laggy Ducks and Steve Mervin. I'm always excited to see new teams. After that, we've got Army Men and the first Ska Boss. This is our first mixed, well, our second mixed team because we had LiteSpectre and Cosmo, but I don't think most people really knew you before the Nick Robinson video, LiteSpectre.
Right. So I didn't play Phantom Dust for 10 years.
Yeah.
Like I'm coming back.
So this is our first team that we have, like two recognizable people, because Army Men was also he made it into round 2 of the last tournament as well, and then Skaboss has been a big mainstay of the community for several years now.
Yeah.
Start us off, Blazy.
All right. So Army Man, I haven't played with them. As you know, everybody knows Sky Boss. He's
I don't.
oh. He's in some tournaments like back before this Discord, and I think that's when we ran the captain's tourney. Like,
Yeah, it was the
4
first
captains.
draft tournament.
Oh, that was the first one.
Yeah, he was the
that
captain of the
pretty
first
fun.
draft tournament.
I think I was on his team.
Yeah, you were. It was me and you and several others. I was on his team as well.
Yeah, he's pretty good. He has a lot of strategy going on.
Yeah,
It's always fun just to see his combos he pull off.
He's a solid A-tier player. He tends to like to dip into lesser used skills as well, but he also has somewhat messy arsenals sometimes. But he holds his own. He's solid. He's a good vet to learn from as well. Army Men was the one-trick wonder with the Dance of Death.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a victim of that.
As was
for
I.
sure. Yeah, Pippo, weren't we also in one of the games together in the last tournament? I forgot if we were.
I believe so. Yeah, I think it was the first.
Yeah, I
one
think
that
it was
we
also
had.
Were you
Army
both
as
in there
well.
with Army Men?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was on. I think it was on Palace, and he ran Dance of Death.
He
and I
ran
was
Dance of Death on
just
every map.
yeah. Oh yeah. But I was able to barely squeeze it out ahead of him on that with Fire of Gehenna. But when we got to Pano, I lost my mind. That was so strong.
Yeah, he just basically, every time I saw him and tuned in, he was just walking around and 21-0ing people with Dance.
Oh my god, yeah.
Which, I mean, if you're entering that tournament, I told people beforehand, I thought that was probably the best strategy if you weren't certain of your skill to get into the second round, would be to just run Dance of Death and hit people in the back.
Yeah.
Well, it worked. It got me, so
It
yeah.
sure did.
From what I understand, because he showed up to round 2 and he hadn't really practiced or anything, and he played with Puffy, and it doesn't look like either of them had played anything at all together, and they just played their same one arsenals, because Puffy had his invisible Miramasa and he was running Dance of Death, and it didn't synergize. They did not do well in round 2. I know Army Men has also said that he hasn't been able to play for 3 weeks since then, so hopefully there's been some evolution and some learning and adapting. But that could be if there's been some learning and adapting, or even if Skaboss just decides to play into his Dance of Death, that could be a scary team that has an outside shot of making top 8.
I mean, you kind of said that about Army last time, right? In round 2, about oh, that could be a deadly team if they do that well. So it does depend on whether or not they did learn from that and actually did practice. That's kind of the big thing, basically.
So if you just throw alleviate on the partner, if you throw alleviate onto the Dance of Death player, that gets way more lethal. So if you're doing partner stuff, it would
there's
work.
a lot of stuff you can do with it. You can do decoy, you can do frighten. I did a whole list because I played in a tournament with Shadow Shield, and I really put in some work into working, because that's all he plays is Dance and Psycho Burst, and I leaned into it, into setting him up, because most people don't when they play with him. And you can have a lot of success with that. And if he knows how to run Dance, and Skaboss knows how, he's an adaptable player that we know can do a lot of different things. So he's not playing with another unknown, because last time Puffy was also an unknown who was kind of a one arsenal, one trick. And we were hoping to see if either one would put in work. We at least know that Skaboss has in the past, and he's adaptable. So he should be able to run with that if that's all Army really has. But Army could also be putting in the work, so this could be a scary team.
Yeah, this could have more potential than even round 1, now I think about it, the way you're arguing about this.
Yeah,
This could be even more scary.
I wouldn't put them as one of my favorites for top 8, but I would say they're a team with an honest shot at top 8.
Yeah, well said, I think. Yeah, I agree with that.
Next, we've got RTS and Mario. Mario had signed up with I forget who
Lone
it was,
Cabin.
Lone
It was Lone
Cabin.
Cabin.
And I was
Yeah.
really excited for that, but then Lone Cabin dropped, and he's with RTS now.
Oh, you even recommended Mario to me in like DMs, right?
Mario he's one of the top A tier players. We've for a long time we've talked about like tier list of players being like S tier, A tier, and like the A tiers that are fighting to break into S tier, and Mario would be close to the top of the list there for the A tier players. So he is probably, I'd say, the third or fourth best player in this tournament, just by himself. I don't know RTS as well. I've played with them once or twice. Does anybody else here know them better?
I played with him quite a few times. Originally, I was supposed to train like the whole OD, but most of them were inactive, and they kind of just branched out.
Liberty of the
RTS
chat.
was on a yes. RTS was on. He's in a different time zone. I forget which one. I think it was CEST or something like that.
It's European
But
of some
because of
kind.
his time zone, I was never able to like do like one-on-one training with him before like the guild wars and the tournaments, like any of that stuff. So now when he is online, it's probably like 1 or 2 matches because of our 6-hour time difference.
How would you rate him in comparison to Lone Cabin?
Uh, I would say Lone Cabin would probably be in terms of like skill and overall gameplay, I would say he'd probably be a 5 out of 10. And RTS, don't take this personally, I would probably say he a 4 out of 10, just because he hasn't had the experience or time to learn more fundamentals about like where to be at when you go down, or what part of the map you should be on to start comboing to allow your partner to, just to create the synergy.
If
So I
those two
played
had
with them
had,
recently, and
sorry,
it seemed like they had already, picked up on a few things. So I think today or tonight is like their training night before the actual tournament tomorrow.
yeah, they have not had a lot of time to partner together, so I do worry about that. Finding the synergy and Mario having the time to whip him into tournament shape, because there's a pretty big difference between tournament and pickup play, and I think the last tournament, was for only new players, so a lot of them didn't get the full experience of how much you have to shift gears for tournament, and so we're going to see, I think, a lot of new players trying to figure that out here, and the 3-4 weeks during the sign up period, all that time should have been worth its weight in gold, trying to get your practice in and get some training from your veteran partner if you have one. So they're at a pretty significant disadvantage having partnered up here just in the last couple days. Hopefully they can put it together, because Mario is a really strong player and RTS at least seems solid. I think
Yeah, he's eager to learn.
I would
He's
rate
just
them as
time.
a good shot of making top 8, and they could do really well if they get enough time in together. But I don't know if they have that time.
Yeah, that's true.
What about the rest of you, Jesse? Have you played with these guys, Pippo?
I think I played with RTS, I think, or against them. I don't really know too much about them, really, to say much. I don't think it's coming on my mind right now about that.
I mean, for RTS, I'm pretty much of the same opinion as Blazy. Like, and again, we're saying Bregan, with them not having a ton of time, that probably factors in, which I'll get into later when I start talking about some of the teams I am like very, very concerned about facing. But when it comes to a team being a team, like, you need synergy. If not, you're going to die to a team that has more synergy in a 2v1. So if they can't get that there, I could see maybe it being a point of failure. But I think they can go far. I know Mario's a good enough player to do it. I was in a lobby one time with, like, I think it was Ebony, Blazy, and Mario, and that was the scariest lobby I've ever been in.
This is a fun one.
It was a fun one, like really, really solid games. But
That's not an
damn,
easy
they were
lobby,
fast.
no.
Russian roulette.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, no, Mario's definitely capable enough to to bring the team forward, I think.
For this one, since I think they're close to the margin, let's take a vote. Top 8 or no?
Say top 8, yeah.
I want to
Blazy?
say no, but I also kind of want to say yes because of Mario. It just depends on whether or not Mario can bring RTS up there or not, really, I think. And I don't really know. I mean, I'm going to say yes because Bregan recommended Mario to me, so maybe they have a chance.
What about you, Blazy? Yes or no? Top 8.
Yes, top 8.
LiteSpectre?
I haven't played with these people.
You don't know these people?
I don't know.
How dare you not know Mario?
Yeah, I know it's all my fault.
It's a me, Mario.
You know, Mario is a tournament winner.
Yeah.
Wait, you mean Tove?
No, Mario.
Tove is the only tournament winner I know.
Mario won an art contest that we hosted years and years ago. Let me see. I think I still have it. He just made a shirt. We didn't get a lot of entries. Yeah, here it is. He made a shirt. It's on the stream. I'll try and put it in the Discord. Hold on.
Yo! Okay, that's a cool shirt, though.
Yep.
I like it.
He
Whoa.
he won the art contest by putting a print of the Phantom Dust schools and then tie-dyeing it.
Pretty
Yeah.
dope.
I mean, put to schools and you got a winner, basically.
We had like
Yeah.
5 entrants, so but I still paid him like $50.
He swept.
Yep, he swept. It is a pretty cool shirt, though. All right, moving on. The Beast and a super... What is his name? A super swaggy guy. Okay. I don't know either of these.
Me neither.
Anybody?
No, I
know
don't know.
these
That
guys?
name does not sound familiar. It doesn't ring a bell.
Same here.
Yeah. It's another one of those, if nobody knows them and nobody really knows them in the Discord, there's a decent
It's
chance
actually
they just
pretty good though
don't show
that
up.
we don't know these new teams.
I mean, I
because
hope they show
they'll-
up, and I
they'll
hope they've
stand
been
out because of
practicing,
that.
and I hope they play well, and they've, but at least in the past, it's never really been a thing.
Yeah.
So that's another team. Hopefully they show up. Hopefully we see some fun games out of them. We next have E2000 and Fizna. I'm at least somewhat familiar with them. I think I played with Fizna once. I think they're both really raw new players. Does anybody have
Yeah.
any more direct interaction
Yeah.
with them?
I can't say
nothing really.
direct.
I've only
I know they're
like,
active in the
watched.
Discord.
Yeah. I've never played with. I probably watched like maybe one match, but maybe they was like new at it. Like they're still trying to figure out what some skills do. Whenever you see anybody pick up a skill and just use it, they've never used that skill before. So that's what I was getting from it. Like
Yeah,
you don't
I-
waste a vacuum slash ever. You don't just use that. So I'm assuming they
I
just testing the
just
skills
remember
out.
that in the signups there was that question like, how much do you have, like 10 hours of tag team experience and 5 standard arsenals? They were 2 of the people who said no.
Ah.
Interesting.
So,
So I always recommend for people to complete the campaign. Even though it's lengthy, the campaign does show you, almost all 300 of those skills that's not DLC or,
yeah, we'll
online,
we'll
whatever.
have to see. I know that there was some effort to educate some of those that had answered no to those questions. One of the tournament moderators had kind of gone out of his way to help them out. So we'll see what progress they've made. But they are, at least as of now, based on that information, small fish in the pond right now. But I'm still excited to see them, and I hope they have a good time. The
Yeah.
way Swiss works, they should be playing other teams that will be ranked skill-wise similar to them as the rounds go on. So hopefully they still have fun and they have a good time. And who knows, maybe they've put in some work and can pull off an upset or two.
Nice.
Let's see. Next is Snow Rise and Pippo. Rise
That's
is
a
a
good team right there, I
bit
think.
of a meme.
Pippo,
Pippo, I want to know,
the-
as somebody who's
Yeah.
been on the receiving end of being let down by Rise in the past. I'd like to know
That
what you
wasn't
have
his fault.
prepared in order to drag that steaming carcass across the finish line.
Dang.
Damn.
So, I mean, up front, I want to be like, oh god, it's a little frustrating to have my partner basically be the vet's punching bag. It's like, I mean, it's all in good fun. Like everyone kind of has an understanding of where vets are in relation to each other. I just wanted a vet as a partner. I'll be honest. I would have taken literally anybody. And like Snowrise is still a decent player.
I don't know.
in my
Go
book.
back and watch the 4-team draft tourney finals
Don't do
video,
it.
and then
Don't
tell
do
me. Then
Oh,
tell me.
Greg, you gotta chill that like roast down, or else I'm gonna have to find a way to catch up to you. Or
I'm sorry.
something. I don't
Me and
know.
Rise are really good friends. Actually, we've been playing for a long
That's
time, and
good.
we've been playing D&D together like weekly for a year, 3
Oh,
years
that's
now
awesome.
too. So,
Yeah.
we have a really good time.
But yeah,
I
no.
love Rise.
A lot of the games we've had so far, and a lot of them, I mean, Blazy can attest to it, has been with him and his partner. There's been tilt. There's been a substantial amount of tilt. Sometimes from both of us, but it's just it's managing that and also managing the expectation to be aggressive. Because I found, and I've talked to him about this a few times when we were first starting out doing scrims. Like I think the expectation of him being an aggressive player is going to get us killed 100%. I think it is. Like it's the same situation I was saying before. Like if someone gets over eager against a team who has really good synergy, has been practicing combos and stuff like that, they're going to lose the 2v1 and make the pickup impossible. That's happened on Highway. It's happened on Refinery a few times. Like we know where our weaknesses are for this. So a lot of our training's just been in circumventing that tendency. And like I was an aggressive player too. Like on Pano, I would love to just go ham with swords. And we're working on maybe taking arsenals that are a little bit out of character. Like he's been playing a jumper recently, which I looked at old tournament footage, and that's
Oof.
so strange.
Have him go back to a cartwheeler, please. The times I've watched him play a jumper, I don't think I've seen him even try to dodge a single attack. He just gets
But,
hit by it. Just make
but
him
yeah,
go back to a cartwheeler.
It's been a period of experimentation, I'll say, I guess. And I mean, for me, at
I
least,
think
like,
Rise has the potential to be a good mechanical player, but he
Yeah.
I don't know if I see anybody else that regularly makes decisions that baffle me as much as he does. Where I'm just like,
We'll say.
what? That was that out of your several options before you went with that one.
Look, sometimes you gotta like take 3 shields and then rush with a single-use attack. And then hope once you miss with your attack, then you just hope that somebody attacks you so you can, use your shields.
Mhm. But yeah, as far as that, it's been experimenting with stuff that might be a little bit out of our comfort zone, but still making it work. Like learning how to be in lockstep with each other, learning how to combo attacks together more efficiently. And when we do, it works a treat. But like, if not, I think it could be to our detriment. So we just need to keep working on that. And I think by the time the tournament comes, we should do fairly well.
I think you guys have an outside shot at top 8 if you guys can find a way to keep Rise from doing some Rise
Yeah.
things. Because if you can prevent some of those decisions he makes and some of those overextensions he does, mechanically he can hang with, most other A-tier veterans.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a matter of managing that, and if you guys can find the synergy and do that, I think you guys have an outside shot of making the top 8. But let's take a vote. We're going to vote on this one. Top 8 or no, Blazy?
I would say yes. I would say yes.
Yes, top
But
8.
specifically because I honestly believe Snowrise could be like up there, like maintain a. I know people say rate doesn't matter, but it does kind of speak. He could probably maintain between like 1400 if he like just drop all the meme stuff and like just take it serious like from the jump. Not just a heads up, I'm going to die a lot. Like none of that type stuff. Like literally
That's
just
the thing. Rise likes to have fun, and you have to respect
He does.
that. He's here to
He
play
does.
Phantom Dust
Like,
to
that's
have
part of his
fun, not to be the
personality.
best player. But when he shows
Yeah.
up to a tournament, he does have a good mindset as well.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, just keeping him from turning to Dr. Disrespect. And you got it.
All
Yeah.
right. Let's see. Jesse, top 8 or no?
So okay, I've been like clipping a couple of his videos, and I've also watched his streams. So like, if this guy can just like not lose all of his attacks to an erase shield, if this guy cannot cartwheel onto a lift, if this guy cannot break up a structure and then get hit by it twice, then I think we got a pretty good team. I don't think I can say a vote, but I want to lean towards yes. I think he will probably take it seriously, but there's kind of a lot he has to make sure to not do, basically. But yeah, to be fair, I'm probably just highlighting just the big mistakes I know, because it's like those are kind of like just the haha funny moments, really. So, but he might maybe turn out to be much better. Who knows? So I'm probably gonna say yeah. Basically, that's my vote.
Haha, funny moments. But has he been hit by bundled laser through the gap on City?
I don't think I remember that video. Oh, that. Okay. That was Geigen who hit you there.
Yes.
Oh my god. Oh, I can't wait to talk about Geigen.
Rise is one of the biggest, bug catchers whenever it comes to random bits of bullshit. But I don't know that. I think this one might just take the cake for me out of my entire career of Phantom Dust. This is one of the biggest WTF moments. I was just like, what? You can shoot through that?
That's a good shot, too.
That screenshot itself is just so beautiful. You can see the arc of like how it traveled, and like, like you can tell so much from that. Basically, oh my god.
Yeah, I put it in like 0.25 when I was clipping it, trying to see if I could get just the right screenshot of it, and that still hurts thinking about it. All right, last vote then, LiteSpectre. Top 8 or no for Rise and Pippo?
Yes, just base it on the fact that I know both of the members of this team. Like, so it's they get the, what is it, Captain Jack award, where it's like I have heard of them.
All
Wait,
right.
who's Captain Jack?
It's a Disney movie.
No, I don't remember that.
The Pirates of the
Captain
Caribbean.
Jack?
Did you were you dead during the 2000s?
I was born in 2002. I don't remember watching Pirates of the Caribbean, to be honest. I did have like the one DS game based on the
I actually did
movies.
rewatch the first one recently. It is just a solid kick-ass movie. If you haven't seen it, go see it. The rest of the franchise, take it or leave it, but the original Pirates of the Caribbean is just fucking good. It's good. All right, next team. Moving on. Toph. I've actually got. I promised I would use one thing from his sound bites. I don't know how to share it to you guys.
And my favorite
just,
for the tournament, who we have
send it to
trademarked,
podcast,
Toph
I'll listen on my
Toph
side.
or Toph Cubed.
He didn't actually set up a soundboard. He just sent me voice clips on Facebook, which was the laziest way to go about it.
Oh my god.
But Choices was trying to make soundboard. He did it very lazily. I'll play one of them because I didn't listen to all the others. I didn't have time.
Let me deafen myself real quick.
But basically, the joke that he and I came up with that Triple and Toph was just, Toph.
Oh, that's clever.
Yep. So this is Team Toph. Let's see. These are both fairly well-known players. Let's have Pippo. Give us your initial thoughts on this team.
Bro, I've been telling everybody that if this team wins, it's going to be because of something wacky. They're going to bring something that no one is expecting at all and use it so efficiently that it's going to catch everyone off guard.
That does not sound like in character of Toph. I'm going to be fully honest with you.
It doesn't sound in character of Toph, but I feel like Triple could convince him to do it. Because all I've seen so far, and this might just be because we're playing fun games or whatever, I haven't looked too much into his competitive history. But
Triple has done a lot of goofy things in tournaments.
Okay, fair enough. He's the one who introduced me to the Violent Change the World recall loop thing, which has been stupid to see resolve, and it's been picked up by other players I know in the scene. That's that. If both of them come in with mill, I will be overjoyed and frustrated to no end. But I don't expect them to even play something close to straight up. I expect them to play something off the wall.
All right, Blazy.
Let's see here. Triple's pretty good. A good offensive player. Toph, he has to. I think he needs to just fix his audio stuff. Last time I played with him, he had to use headphones, and the headphones did something with Phantom Dust, so he couldn't hear anybody. I think that can pretty much decide a whole fight, because playing without any audio, if you're already not used to listening to every sound attack, every sound effect, the breeze falling, all that, you can get hit from anywhere and not know how to react and just take the damage.
Yeah, it's a big blind spot, like blind.
But
whatever it's called.
technically,
He did
it's
win
like
the
he's been
entire
playing
new
with a
player tournament
handicap
without
the whole
audio.
time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So just imagine if he had audio, how well would he do with audio, since he's been playing without it the whole time?
He won the
He's
game.
probably
He won
the
the
only
tournament without
person
audio.
in this whole Phantom Dust community who's been playing without audio. Because most of us, when we lose audio, or for an example, if my aux cord comes out my controller while I'm playing, and we're in a lobby, I can hear everybody talk, but when the game starts, I can't hear nothing. After that game, boom, we leaving the lobby, we restarting the whole thing because of that. He's been playing like this the whole time, so
Yeah, and he won the
that's
tournament
something.
before he could even hear things. So
So he was at a handicap and he still won. So we haven't even, in other words, we haven't even seen his full potential yet. So he's definitely a gamble. He's an ace right now. That's how I feel.
I think Toph has at least like 40 arsenals that he's going to play, and they're each going to be dedicated against to counter what.
Oh yeah, he was doing research.
Yeah, he's the only one who's scouting.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a meme or not, but I'm pretty sure like he's looked at it. He's looked at the what other people are running.
What was it? The other day he was boasting like, "Oh, I've got all of Bregan's arsenals too," and Bregan's like, "I'm not even in the tournament."
Damn.
I mean, the other thing is half of mine are memes, but the other half that
Yeah.
aren't, like, they're really solid tournament-worthy arsenals. So if you want to use them, sure. But if you're just like, I want to know what he has and be prepared for him, but I'm not there. So I don't know. Maybe he just wanted to have them in order to use them. I'll give him the
My
benefit
guess-
of the doubt.
There's going to be an annoying gift mind reading trigger, and then he's going to just use his audio to ruin the opponent's team.
That would be a good use of that. Wait, speaking of mind reading, oh, no, sorry, not mind. Yeah, mind reading. During these tournaments, will everybody? I should have read the rules more clearly, but
For in-game.
will they be in game or will it be voice chat? Will they have the
We're
option?
just going to let people do whatever chat they want. We presume most
Okay.
people will just use Discord. I mean, even if
'Cause you know, back
even if
when it was
everybody
us-
was playing on Xbox Live chat, I wouldn't recommend
Yeah.
running mind reading anyway. But dead skill.
I know we all used to use that. It's not to it wouldn't really help, but I guess just the commentary of the other team, like when you pull something off and you hear them go, "Oh, that's BS. That shouldn't have hit," or "Yeah, I got him. He got this," and then you immediately swap it out because you heard them with mind reading, and they're like, "I could have swore he had a flash hole," and they got something else. Like just those type of funny moments.
For me, I actually far more enjoyed when my opponents ran it than running it myself.
Yeah.
Because
'Cause you can
then I
hear
could
it.
How do you
taunt
know if
them
they use
while I beat them.
How do you know if they use mind reading?
You can see the animation, and
I
there's
muted myself,
it makes a
and I'm
certain
just like laughing right now.
it makes a certain noise, and so if you've heard it enough times, like you recognize that was a mind reading they just did.
I didn't realize that it, that it was a recognized sound because I've never heard it.
Nope, it's it has a fairly distinct noise to it, but nobody really uses it anymore, so a lot of the new players presumably wouldn't recognize it.
Yeah. It sounds close to Doppelganger.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I just enjoyed trolling people while they fought me, so I loved when other people ran it. Let's see. Let's get some more opinions on this team, though. Blazy.
Yes,
Excellent
I'm
insight,
thinking
Jesse.
hard
Tell me more
because-
about this team.
Question
to
mark?
All right, okay. I think I played triple, and he did do that. Like, I think he did like an annoying gift strat with me. I think one time. That's kind of like the one thing I remember.
Oh
about
yeah, he
triple.
ripped
He's-
those off of me.
Damn, I'm so sorry, man. Okay. Oh man, Toph though. Bregan, you know me and I, Toph, played in like one of those Guild Wars matches. Oh, he literally just DM'd me. Let's see here. Let me share this image with what's it called? Everybody here. So Bregan can. Let's see here. Let's see what Toph sent here. Ziggs' Arsenal 4, Ziggs' Arsenal 1, Ziggs' Arsenal 16, 15. I wonder what this could be.
Yeah.
Toph, you gotta explain this.
He's been trying to screenshot other people's arsenals so he knows what they're running.
Yeah, anyway, I don't think... Yeah, me and Toph didn't really synergize well, and, like, me and Toph already had, like, a bit of a feud, like, back in the first tournament, 'cause of, like, a prediction I made, but, like, besides that, I think he could do good, but I'm not really too confident. I think it just felt like the tournament was just, like, a one-trick pony, really, I think. But I think maybe Triple can maybe do something good with him, I think.
All right, Blazy. Sorry, I meant to come back to you there. I was mostly joking by cutting you off.
Yeah, but exactly what he said. I just feel like he just need to just take it maybe just a little bit more serious. Like just focus on the match. Don't get. He has his own type of tilt too, but it's more of a
14-year-old tilt.
Yeah,
he's like
more of a younger tilt. So it's like a rage out of nowhere, and then a ha, and then it's back to a rage, and then you can't tell if it's either.
I'm young
Yeah,
and
that's
just
annoying.
learning how to express myself. Rah!
But that's
Rage.
12-year-olds. That's 12-year-olds.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I think he'll take it seriously, though. I think he took the last one seriously for the most part, besides playing the roller, which I don't know if he still does.
He does.
But I know Triple takes these seriously, too, and they're going to try and take it seriously together. They're both really beanie, but I think they're going to put serious effort into winning, and I think they'd be one of my favorites for making it into round 2 and possibly semis as well.
Even after all the trolling that Toph has done to you.
No, absolutely. I've trolled him. He's trolled me. He takes tournaments seriously. He'll play seriously. And Triple will make an honest effort with it as well. And Triple's a solid A-tier player. He's one of my other D&D crew, so I've been hanging out with him for years, despite not playing Phantom Dust for like the last 2 years up until recently. But he's shown a lot of improvement. He was somewhat of a newer player in the re-release, and he's gotten a lot better. I'd say he's solidly like an A-tier player right now.
Oh man, Toph just said he was screwed by school, and I gotta say, that's like a mood, because that's like kind of the biggest struggle recently for me in the tournament. So I feel you, Toph, I feel you.
Just drop out and go pro in Phantom Dust.
I'm not doing that. I literally need that. I need my education.
There's
Make him
cash
dollar
prizes now,
bills.
though.
See how much this $200 can float you.
Yeah.
I don't think so. It's gotta be like every week this tournament basically, and I have to consistently win it, which I doubt. Maybe Xanxus could live off that, not me.
Wait, what are you trying to say about Xanxus? The hell,
He's
man.
good. That's what I was trying to say. Like, he could
can
probably
live off of
consistently
Pokemon,
win
that's correct.
tournaments for like money, probably.
Yeah, I don't know if $200 a week is still enough. All right, top 8 or not? Let's go. Or well, Light, do you know these two? I don't think we yeah. Give us your input then. Give us your input. On this.
wait, Toph?
Toph and Triple.
Yeah,
Toph,
like
Toph,
who doesn't
Toph.
like? And you like Toph posts every like hour on something. He posts like
chat.
dead chat every hour.
Yeah, he does.
I started like reposting like the last time he said that chat every time he says it now,
Yeah,
basically.
it's really
Yeah.
good. I really appreciate that.
It's my favorite time of the day.
So, but I have not actually seen them play. And Toph is way too hyper for me. So
I have to do it again. I have to do it again. He just literally said dead chat. He literally just said dead chat. I gotta do it again.
Because he's okay. That's it. That's all I know about Toph. And then also, when I first joined the Discord, he was like, he and Nui were going off on some like tangent in the general, and I had no idea what was going on, or if like chat, or if this was even like a safe space to be. It's not good.
Applied. Okay.
All right. We should start moving this along a little bit. Let's say top 8 or not on Toph and Triple.
Absolutely top 8 because I've heard of them. That's going to be my criteria. If I've heard your name, you're top 8.
Blazy?
Yep, easy top 8.
Jesse?
He's been playing with a handicap.
Yeah, I'll say yes. I think that could work.
Pippo?
I'd give it to him too. Yeah.
Nobody's willing to go against the grain. Definite top 8 for Toph and Triple. If you don't make top 8, you walk home in shame.
Damn.
Expectations are high.
Cry to your boyfriend about it.
Hang your head and know that you have been judged as lesser. Briver and Reese. Who knows
Haven't
these
played
folks?
against them.
Big old question mark for me.
I swear, I feel like Reese sounds familiar to me. I just can't put my mind to it right now.
Reese made round 2 of the last tournament, but did not show up for it. Or I was told he was a little late, and so we'd already filled in. I forget who it was that played with Bread Boy, but Reese was
The
supposed to
Sneaky
play
Beast?
with Bread Boy. But that's all I know of Reese, really. I don't remember their games in particular. Does anybody else really remember them? No?
That
I don't.
I think
all
Briver was also one of the others that answered no to the question about meeting the criteria. So that is going to be another rough team, I would guess. So they are another small fish, but maybe they've put in some practice together and can put in some surprises. Moving along then, we've got our next two are some of our more well-known teams. We've got Eat and Blazy. I'll just ask you briefly, Blazy, what was it that impressed you about Eat, and who scouted who? Did you scout them, or did she scout you?
It was like we kind of both scouted each other because we was playing against each other before the guild wars and before the guilds were a thing. I would say the first 3 weeks since the merger or creation of the happy hour, I always hosted a 3v1 for all the newcomers to try to just teach them as much as I can. And when she started playing, well, she was quiet at first, but she told me she'd just been like watching the videos, like just the videos we post on YouTube and the tournaments and all that. And I was like, wow, like you getting the hang of this. And then I was like, we have a tournament coming up, and we kind of got misled because we didn't know. Well, me being me, I didn't read the rules. I'm just be honest, I didn't read the rules. I just thought it was like just another tournament. You show up, you fight, game over, no hanging, none of that. Like just simple stuff that we used to do, right? Without reading the rules, turns out it was a guild wars type thing. Like it was a whole guild. Vets they couldn't create their own guild because that's exactly what I was about to do. Not gonna lie, I was about to assemble some OP people. I was about to train like maybe a selected few, like maybe 2 or 3. Give us a tight name and call it a day. She was gonna be in that group along with 2 other players. But we played a lot, and I was like, we should probably form a team. Once we formed a team, it took me a whole hour on this start.ggg website trying to set us up. It was so stressful. It took forever.
I'm sorry.
The start.gg website.
Yeah, I'm sorry that it gave you some issues. Well, let's see. Let's get some of the opinions of our others here. LiteSpectre, tell me your thoughts on this team.
Yeah, they're gonna do quite well when they focus and communicate together. But if they're not unbreakable, I'll give them. I'll just leave it at that. I have heard of them, so they are going to be top 8.
Okay, Jesse.
I think I just got a message by Toph asking, can you ask Blazy who was going to be on that team?
Oh, the other 2 people.
Who was gonna be on that team?
I think the guild, right? Toph?
Is he talking about what
The
I
Secret
just
Dark
said?
Blazy Guild.
Like
Yeah.
Yeah, I
that
think maybe that. I'm gonna guess. He said I'm curious, so. Oh,
Well,
yeah, the guild. Yep, the guild.
it was gonna be Treat, VK. VK was gonna recruit 2 people. It's somebody they used to play with, or not they. She used to play with like back on Phantom Dust Facebook group, not Discord. I don't know if they still play now. And I was gonna contact Tomato to see if he can get back in contact with Old Potato, and we was just gonna do like some heavy training, train like 3 people and teach them all type of
Get the
cool stuff.
tomato potatoes back. I do miss
Yeah.
those guys.
I had a list though, like a top 5 list. I have to just go back and look for it. I posted it somewhere.
All right.
Toph was gonna be in that group as well. It was Toph, Nui, um, Treat was already in there. I had a little list of people who I scouted during those free for alls. But this came more of a priority once it was like, some cash on the line. So it's our first cash on the line type tournament.
All right, Pippo, what are your thoughts on the
I think he's
Treat,
skipping
eat,
to
Blazy?
jump to me, I think. And then I asked that question.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, I'll just go brief here. I played against them like earlier today. They seem pretty good. I do like the fact that they're playing like the same skin. Actually, I like how it seems coordinated. So maybe this team can go top 8. I really feel confident about that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I think you guys played very well earlier we did today. So yeah.
What about you, Pippo?
What a team! Like they're the actual team, like the team that's actually going to play in the tournament that Rise and I have played against the most so far. To me, especially for being like a vet and new player, whole nother level. They're one of my favorites to win the thing. I'll be honest.
Nice.
Their coordination is really good. Like LiteSpectre said, they're not unbreakable. Like there are ways to play around the way that they typically like to run decks. But otherwise, they're always in lockstep with one another. It is so strong the way they play.
Interesting.
Awesome.
I think I've only played against you and Treat together once, Blazy, so I don't know if I have a hard opinion there, but I would put you as probably solidly top 8 with a chance of top 4.
Nice. I like those odds.
All right, let's move on. Shadow Shield and Sin Dark Fates, our resident. If we had a contest for cringiest name in Phantom Dust, how close would y'all put Sin Dark Fates close to the top?
No, that's not cringe at all. Like, Sin Dark Fates actually makes sense to me. I don't think it's really cringe. I don't know. I don't really think it's that cringy.
They
How old
kind
are
of
you,
on
Jesse?
theme.
I'm 20 years old.
Okay.
I'm 20 years old. I've like played Xbox like during my childhood. I think I've seen cringy stuff, like probably more cringier than like Sin Dark. Okay, I'm gonna be fully honest with you.
Oh, it's just a shame that Shadow Phoenix isn't still with us. Ugh. Cringe names. All right, talking about the team itself. I mean, Shadow Shield it's a little. So, Team Shadow Shield Sin Dark Fates is a strong team. I think everybody's going to have to acknowledge that. But give me some info on these guys, Pippo.
I don't have a ton of experience with Shadow Shield. I started watching back.
They are literally in a lobby chat, like VC. They are literally together, actually.
Well, let's get them in here. No.
Oh my god. They're gonna. Sin Dark is already in the chat, and he's probably gonna be like, "Yo, Shadow, do you want to join the podcast?" And Shadow's like, "Nah."
But what's it called? They've been putting so much time
Sin Dark
over.
thinks we're gonna expose him. Oh my god.
No,
yeah,
no,
you guys get exposed.
I'm
get
not
wrecked.
going to. I don't have a ton of experience. But I know Sin Dark is among, in my regards at least, he's among one of the best newer players we have, easily. And Shadow Shield, I've watched back some of his games from past tournaments, and the play is again just on another level. Another just really,
Not a lot of
really
depth there.
dangerous.
It's pretty much all on the table.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. But I do think that just between them both being very solid players, that despite maybe, I mean, they put in a lot of time, so I'm sure the teamwork's there. But even if it isn't, I think by themselves, they're just gonna. I think they're gonna do quite well.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty good team. Jesse, you chimed in a bit. Give us the rest.
Yeah, I think they're pretty good. I don't have much to say. I think they're pretty good players. I played with Sin. I don't remember too much right now off the top of my head, but like, yeah, they were a good player, I think. So yeah, I don't really want to add too much really to that.
LiteSpectre.
I mean, gotta go with the people that I've heard of, and I have heard of Sin. We've played 3 games. Yeah, top 8, definitely.
Have you heard of Shadow Shield?
I have not, but I have heard of Sin, so that counts.
You haven't been on the receiving end of a Psycho Burst before? Got to get some games in with Shadow Shield. He's got to be one of the most frustrating people to play against, because even if you feel like you're solidly better than him, you're still going to eat, like in pickup games, you're still going to eat Dance of Death and Psycho Burst, and you're going to drop games to him. You're just like, what the?
Yeah.
He will get you. He will. He gets everybody. He pulled a 1v1 win versus Guinan and Xanxus.
Wait, no, I think I have played against him with Xanxus, because he ran Dance of Death, and I hit him. He had 8 aura, and I hit him with the Bloody Ritual, and then we just sort of stared at each other. Because he had 4 skills he couldn't use.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I will say this. He's a solid A tier player. He has a very niche play style, but there is no other jumper, or I would say no other player, even if you start adding in cartwheelers, that walks swords as well as Shadow Shield does.
I can name one.
Who do you think walks swords better than Shadow Shield?
Banyat.
Banyat plays in the middle of Madagascar or some shit, so he doesn't count.
No, but more seriously, Shadow Shield give me Doom vibes. Like he's really aggressive and patient at the same time. He'll definitely make you rethink going in alone versus going in with your partner. And Sin, he kind of mimics his partner when he plays. I've seen him play with different people, and it always feels like I'm playing against the same 2 people, even though it's just one totally different name tag. So I feel like he's just adapting to whoever his teammate is, and that's a good thing. So they definitely going to be top 8, from my opinion.
What am I voice acting?
The meme.
Oh, the one that's like the
meme that's on
goblin.
screen,
Oh
yeah.
my god.
Oh, they want me to redo the goblin voice? Is that what it is?
Yeah, from the one match you did, I think.
Oh.
I don't know. If you tell me what you want me to voice act, I'll try and do it, but I'm not sure exactly what you're referring to. I don't know if I can do the goblin cackle again. Yeah, I think this is a team that will have a really good chance of top 8 and a non-insignificant chance of top 4 as well. They put in work. I've seen them playing a lot, and I think Sin is one of the more impressive new players. I'd say he's top 5 out of the new players right now. And Shadow Shield is somebody that if you put in time with him and you try to work around the way he plays, you can really punch above your weight class just like he does in 1v1s. So this is a team that could be a dark horse out of everything. This could be a dark horse for the tournament, but I think solidly top 8 with a good shot of top 4. Is there anybody I haven't hit on this team? Blazy, did you get to chime in on them?
I did.
Okay, let's move on then. I don't want to read that. Somebody else read that team name. I'm not doing it.
We have in this spot, we have Ankh, and we have Daddy Girl 5634.
That's 6534. Get it right, Pippo.
No, now he has to say it again.
Well, all right. Just to recap, we'll take a second take out. We'll take another stab. In this slot, we have Ankh and Daddy Girl 6534.
There you go. Now you got
again, I know
You gotta pronounce the
nothing about
slash.
these.
You gotta pronounce the slash.
Okay, all right. Take 3. In this slot, we have Ankh / Daddy Girl 6534.
Is that Onklamus?
Maybe.
That's my guess is it's Onclemus. Let me see if I can check the signups. Maybe it'll say in there. Yeah, that's Onclemus.
Who are they?
Okay. Who are they?
They played in the last tournament. I think I've played with them once or twice, but I don't have any solid memories to draw from that have stood out so that I could say like, oh, they've done this, or they're good at this, or they were good, they were bad. I don't recall. I think I remember them being decent.
All right.
Does anybody else have any finite memories of Anklemus? I know they've been somewhat active in Discord.
Nah, not really.
Same here. I just watched them in the tourney. That's about it.
I think that's probably the last team where it's like I never heard of them. I think the next like 6, I definitely know these teams.
Yeah, everyone else I know.
Let's see. It says their tag partner is Paul T. 1954 in this sign-up thing.
Who?
I don't know. I don't know who that other person is. That is almost certainly Anklemus, and hopefully they show up and do okay. I don't know. Maybe I don't want them to show up. I don't know if I want to have to sit there and say "Daddy Girl" over and over again during the cast.
You can
No, dude, it's
Gramix and Shinbly. Moving on. Let's keep this podcast rolling. That is you, correct, Jesse? Gramix?
Yeah, I'm Gramix. Yep.
Okay. So let's get some opinions. Blazy, let us know what you think of Jesse and Shinbly.
I think they got good synergy. I think they need to work on combos, but
Yeah, that's true.
synergy is part of like comboing too. But as far as them like going in alone, they don't really do that. But I would just suggest working on combos and the pickups, like knowing when to go for the pickup and just paying attention to your opponents or a regen.
Yeah, that's true. I think we haven't really figured out like combos too well yet, and that's partly because I'm just like kind of busy with stuff. So yeah, that's true.
Gotcha.
Pippo.
Yeah, I'm of a similar opinion of Blazy. Out of the strictly new player-based teams, I think they have like some of the best communication. In lobbies where we've been all 4 of us in a Discord call together, their ability to strategize on the fly and be like, oh, hey, you should probably go this way because something's coming for you here, or you should fall back because you need to be closer so I can maybe pick you up. Like, those things are nice, and I think those things are really valuable, especially when you're trying to like play around people who are going in with Psycho Burst and Dance of Death, for example. So I think that conversation and that stuff will go far. I don't know in terms of like power and specific arsenal stuff, which might factor in some games, but as far as that communication factor, I think that it's going to be a good attribute that might serve them well.
Thanks.
Oh, I see what meme they wanted me to do. They wanted me to do the Liam Neeson.
Yeah.
I see. That's what it was. Maybe I'll do that at the end if I don't forget. I'll do that at the end since we've kind of moved on. Okay. Apologize. I drug us backwards. LiteSpectre, Gramix, and Shinbly.
I mean, communication is extremely important in this game, and if you've got good communication down, if you can communicate every skill you see your opponent use to your partner, I mean, then that's invaluable. So if they've got that down, then hey, definitely looking at the top 8. But again, I haven't played against both of them, so I don't know if I would say for sure over the top 8.
I would say that out of the double new player teams, they'd be one of the ones that have a shot. I would say at cracking top 8. Might need.
I don't know. Right now it's a coin toss, but I kind of want
belly.
Sorry.
Oh, go ahead. I was just making a bad joke.
Okay. I will say, like, right now, I don't really expect us to break top 8. We'll just play and we'll see how we do, basically. That's kind of our current attitude, and that's partly because of, like, my situation, so we'll see. If we get top 8, cool. That's kind of my goal. If not, well, hopefully next time is better. But yeah, hopefully. We'll see what happens. I guess I could also just explain Shinbly also, if we have time for that.
Explain Shinbly?
Yeah, like why I chose her as my partner. I mean,
sure, go ahead.
Yeah, so basically, I kind of met Shimbly for like the Stardust guilds. Basically, she kind of applied for Stardust, which is like the guild I kind of helped name. I kind of was like part of like the 3 founding members with Zemixi. But yeah, anyway, we started off like Shimbly was pretty good, and then I've heard like from her like that she's been like getting pretty good like since then actually. So I think I think she might be actually like probably I would say close to the same skill level as I am. I think, and she has pretty good arsenals. I think that could work well with us. I think so. Yeah, we'll see how we do.
All right, excited to see it. Any last words for Gramix and Shimbly before we lower them into the ground tomorrow?
What do you think of us? What do you think, Bregan?
I've played only really a handful of games with both of you, so it's hard for me to give too much. I think that you've looked really solid. I don't know if I'd put you quite in the top 5 or top 10 of the new players yet, but close to. Shimbly
at least.
was at least, I haven't played with them as much lately, but they were a little bit more raw than some of the other new players. But if she's been putting in the practice and you guys have good coordination, I think that you guys would have an outside shot at making top 8 with a little bit of luck.
Yeah, I think she's probably made more practice than I have. I think.
I know I've seen her play a lot. I know. I
Yeah.
see her around in rooms a lot. So assuming that time's spent wisely, you guys could make some noise.
I think so too. Yeah.
All right, we're getting into what most would agree is one of our tournament favorites here, Xanxus and Surreal Sam. Who wants to go first on this one?
I guess I can hop in. The only thing I've been telling people about this team, because I haven't played against them yet. I played with Sam quite a bit, but I haven't played any games with Xanxus yet. All I have is hearsay and previous tournament footage. His play speaks for himself. He's among one of the best Phantom Dust players I believe has ever played the game. And Sam is another one of those players where, among the new players, I think he's among the best technically performing. They both play pretty straight up. Sam likes to get in some meme decks every once in a while. But for the most part, he plays stuff that's pretty coherent. I think his favorite meme thing to do in a tag is hit people with friendship and alleviate, and then doppelganger stats. But as far from that, like, it's just playing decks that work well on their own and also work well in a team. But I'm pretty sure this is, like, if not, who did I say earlier? If not Eat Blazy, or who's the other? Shadow Shield and Zindark. Xanxus and Surreal Sam is probably my favorite to win. Just because of the quality of player more than anything.
All right. I have a meme here. I'll try and put it in the chat as well. This is an old one that I didn't crop properly, so forgive me when I send you it in here. I cropped it a little bit for the stream, but this is back in my...
Yeah, Xanxus is clearly like a top player. I mean, I've seen him like dodge lasers from 2 people shooting at him, which is really annoying because I was one of the people shooting the lasers. Yeah. But yeah, definitely top 8 material for that team.
What about you, Blazy? Give me your thoughts on this team.
Solid team. We got Xanxus, aka dodge everything on sight. He's like top 3. Xanxus is just
a bot.
He's very strategical.
Blocked
He
me.
thinks about like everything before it. It makes it seem like he thinks about everything before it happened. Surreal Sam kind of reminds me of Xanxus just a little bit. I did see him play like without Xanxus at one point in time, and he's just cartwheeling everything, and I'm like, oh, this guy got his cartwheels down pat. Like, he's cartwheeling like we usually do back in the Facebook group, like when we all play, you know, like straight competitive. So I'm excited to see their team in action. They're definitely going to be up there though.
Yeah, I
Top
think
8, no.
they're a really strong team. I think they're a lock for top 8. I think they're probably close to a lock for top 4. and you should expect them to see them in finals.
Yeah.
I know there was a bit of a lottery when it came to the initial trying to hunt for partners, and a lot of the biggest top tier players had a lot of people banging on their door, and Zanxis probably more than any. So that on stream, there's an old meme I used to use to troll Evolution, who had managed to tag with Zanxis twice in 2 different tournaments that had partner restrictions in the past. And so this is kind of the Surreal Sam meme right here. He won the lottery by managing to land Zanxis, because as somebody who's played at the top and played in a bunch of tournament finals and a bunch of tournament finals, especially against Zanxis, and lost most of those tournament finals versus Zanxis, I think it's hard to argue anybody else being a better player than Zanxis. There are some other players that would be in the discussion for being the best player in the game, like in the discussion, but it would be hard to argue anybody actually over Zanxis. He's that good. It used to be that he wasn't a very technical mind for the game, but he fixed a lot of those problems, and he's gotten help from other people to sweep those under the rug. And when it comes to just sheer mechanical ability, like there's really nobody that touches him when it comes to that. He has some other weaknesses, but he is by far the best when it comes to that technical ability. He regularly pulls off things that you just wouldn't believe. One of the random ones I'll just pull out that still, if you go back and watch it, there's a tournament match, I think it's against Mirage and Darcia, where Zanxis hits, it was something like 13 manually aimed throttle fireballs in a row without missing.
Goodness.
Jeez.
I started just counting them because there was nothing else to do in that cast because it was so ridiculous. I was just counting how many in a row he hit without missing it. It was like 13. It's disgusting.
Reminds me of Shikamaru from Naruto Shippuden. Like the way he thinks is just 10 steps ahead.
Yeah, he's always it's been weird because when it comes to that kind of stuff, he's always been really far ahead. But his arsenals used to be pretty bad. And he's since fixed that. He's got good arsenals now, and he's a much better arsenal builder than he used to be. I still wouldn't call that his strength, but he is pretty inarguably the best player, and I think that they're definitely a favorite in this tournament. Let me see. I told you I'd bring up your meme whenever we started talking about them. Jesse, have you had a chance to chime in on these folks yet?
I'll say one of my favorite matches was actually against Zanxis. We were playing in lane. Near the end of the match, I basically managed to use Violent Change to pop both all of the capsules on Zanxis' team, but my partner and his partner were down. So what happened was I ended up I was basically getting chased by him, basically where I would go to the lift, go up to the houses, and then he would come up so that I would roll down basically. But then what happened was he managed to get I thought I jumped at the right moment, but he somehow clipped a hit on me as I was trying to jump out, and then it basically got me, and it was just so intense. It was oh my god. That was one of my favorite matches, probably in all of Fantasy that I played. I think it was just so well. It got even his adrenaline pumped. I was that was I know I lost that game, but it was also just I just felt I did something I just tricked him up, and I was so close to getting that victory on him. So I don't know. That's kind of why it's up there with me. So I think that's why I put Zanxis in this meme you're seeing now. Why I put him, I think he's gonna get to the final 2 basically. So yeah.
One thing I'll say for Zanxis in regards of this tournament too, and I talked about this to the guy who was running this tournament beforehand as well, is I make actually kind of a League of Legends reference here, and I'll try and not draw this out too much because we should move on and talk about other teams. But in League of Legends in professional, it's every year there's a new jungler who's considered the best jungler in the world, but it only lasts a year, maybe a year and a half, and then he's garbage, right? And if you start talking about who's the GOAT of all time when it comes to jungle in League of Legends, you've got 12 to consider because nobody's been on top for more than a year or so at a time. What seems to be much more consistent, though, is that the best jungler is playing with the best mid laner at the time. And the best mid laners have been the best mid laners clearly for a much longer period of time. So you look at the Faker and the Rookie, And the reason the jungler looks good while playing with them is the mid laner is so dominant that the jungler is then freed to look much better than he would be in whatever given meta. And Xanxus is a player like that where he is this dominant mid laner, and he lets partners that would be not as good by themselves or playing with someone else look much better because he is just such a destructive, powerful force in game that a B tier player will look like an A tier player while playing with him. And there's not a lot of players that can elevate their partner the way Xanxus does. And so I think that is going to be a big strength of his in a tournament like this, that he just unleashes partners.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else want to say anything more about this team before we move on? I feel like I should at least talk about Sam a bit as well. Does anybody else
we
know
focused
Sam
so
that
much
well?
on Xanxus.
No? So Sam
Yeah, I
was
think
actually one of the first players I had scouted before the first tournament. I played in a tag match. I don't know if it was a IRL friend of his or something, but he was playing with another guy whose name I forget now, and I don't know if I've seen since. But I remember thinking, like, hey, these guys are pretty good, and they were already executing combos together, and they had, like, coordinated arsenals, and they were, like, one of the first new players that I actually lost any pickup games to. And so I was actually watching Surreal Sam. You may go back to, like, the previous tournament podcast. He was one of the ones I was watching. He had a bad tournament, and things didn't go very well for him. He said he got, like, triple team focused in a lot of his matches, so he didn't make it into the second round. But this was one of the players that I've been watching since, like, the first couple of days after Nick Robinson's video. And I think Surreal Sam is going to show himself to be one of the top 5 new players by the end of this tournament. I'll put that one out there.
Yeah. I had no idea of the history, but as far as the games I've played with him, yeah, he's shown his worth as a teammate playing with anybody. And I think with Xanxus, it'll just be that much better.
Yep. Agreed. All right, moving on to the next one then. We've got Nuion and L, or VKL. Who wants to go first?
I will say about VKL, Al has probably been one of my, like probably the most helpful veterans I have talked to, like, just, like, giving me advice about what I'm doing and stuff. Like, I just really appreciate their advice, so that's kind of one of the best things about, I think about them. But they also do play very well as well, so I'm really hoping this team does really good, especially if Nguyen. Nguyen also seems to be a really good player. So I think they'll do very well. They even beat me. They just bullied me, like, earlier today. So I think they're going to do very well. I think VKL will probably do a very good job of just, like, helping Nguyen out. And I think they'll do a very good job of, like, synergizing. So they might be able to just, like, sneak in top 4 if we're not looking.
I think they've got a good shot at top 4. What do you think, Blazy?
Same. Their synergy is down packed, and he's been coming a long way. He's been picking up all strategies and being patient, working on combos. VKL is still VKL.
You know, I didn't really know L before the Nick Robinson video.
Well, he played, but he didn't. Sorry, they played, but they didn't play often. I mean,
I don't know if they
play
played
every day,
before
but they
I
didn't
stopped
play
playing.
in a Facebook group.
Because I don't think I had ever met them or heard of them before I had stopped playing, and I know they weren't in that draft tournament. But they are someone who's really impressed me. Like, it was kind of funny because we both got set as admins of Nick's Discord. He had just shown up one day and was like, hey, would anybody be willing to help with this? And I was like, I haven't been doing anything in a while. I'd be willing to do it, I suppose. And then L also volunteered, and I was like, I don't know who this person is at all. And so, like, day one, we're running it together, and we play some together, and I was impressed since they're a somewhat relatively new player themselves, at their level of knowledge, their skill level, and then it seems like they've watched every Phantom Dust video that I've ever put out as well, and they know so much about previous pro matches and meta. I've been very impressed with their gameplay.
Love to just like consume Phantom Dust content. There's like a meme where it's like if you just do if you guys get into a lobby together, L will want you to stream it, and then the L will be like, "Oh, you know what I'm gonna say?" It's like. So it's that kind of also that joke as well.
Yeah, and they're solid. They're good. They're a solid, good player. And Nuion, I would have as one of my top 5 new players. They're constantly all over the Phantom Dust stuff. They've been doing all of the Phantom Dust Helper app. They've been doing all the modding and all these different things in the website. Like, the guy has just been eating and breathing Phantom Dust. And I haven't played as much with him, but when I have, and when I've watched him play, he looks the least like a new player out of the new players, if that makes sense. Like, he looks more like a vet than any of the other new players.
The interesting thing is that Nuya didn't actually qualify for like the last tournament. Actually, or by qualify I mean like it's in round 2.
Yeah. It sounds like there were some rough lobbies there. You know, it's a battle royale format. There's always going to be people that slip through the cracks with that kind of format, with that many. Yeah, there's politics, and then just the format in general. Like, it was meant to be more of a casual, like, let's get everybody introduced to having fun in these tournaments than anything. And so, yeah, he slipped through the cracks on that one. But when I watch him play, like, I don't know if I would call him far and away like the best of the new players, but he looks the most like a veteran player when I watch him play.
I just got a message by Toph. Toph literally just told me that he mistakes Nguyen for a veteran when he first joined.
Yeah, having the programming experience to make the PD helper is really was really neat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
they made the website as well, right?
Yeah, he's the one that did that website. I haven't played with it much. I still need to get that helper thing. I just need to get off my butt and do it. It sounds like it's really good. But yeah. I think that's a team that is going to be a solid top 8 team with a shot at semis. Let's see, Light, have you weighed in on these folks yet?
No, that's just I've heard of Nui, so definitely top 8. It's my criteria.
That's gonna take you quite far until
your insight and wisdom is
semifinals.
It's good.
It's astounding.
I mean, look, that's all it takes is just get is this. If I know you, if we've played a game, then you're definitely top 8 material.
Oh boy,
there's a lot of people in this tournament that I actually know, so it's like that might be a bit. That might not work well, but
they're all top 8. It's gonna happen.
Someone's gonna drop.
That's the thing. I mean, just like the last tournament, only 16 people advanced to the second round. It's going to be the same thing. There's going to be some names that you might not expect to slip out, but they will. There's going to be some people that don't make it into the second round.
I know that's probably one of me. I don't expect to go to round 2, but I hope I do.
All right. Any final comments? Anybody who hasn't gotten to chime in on this team?
Team good.
Team good. Team smash. Use rock shot, win game.
Pretty much.
All right, next one is another team that I think a lot of people have their eye on that has been putting in a lot of work and has 2 fairly prolific names. We've got Critter, who was really impressive and won the previous tournament with Esper 28. This is another guy that started playing a little bit more as a veteran after I had left the scene, so I don't have as much direct experience with him. But from what limited experience I have, it seems like he's somewhere between a high B, mid A tier player. So solid, good enough skill wise that he should be able to crack his way through a top 8 finish with another good new player. I'd say Critter is also probably in my top 5 out of the new players. So I think this could be a really strong team. What are some other people's thoughts on this one?
I honestly, like, I know them, but it's also, like, I haven't really played too many games recently to know how they are, so I can't really say much. That's all I'm going to say about that. But they could do well. I think they could do top 8, but I'm not going to rank higher because I don't know them too well.
I've played quite a bit with Critter. We were there were times where if neither of us could find the game, we just run 1v1s, and I think it was like a week or so ago. Yeah, I think it was exactly a week ago. We went back and forth for a while until we got to a point where none of us could win the game. Either we both ran out of attack skills, or none of us had a win condition or could do anything after a certain point. And we just stood there for 3 minutes, and I sent him a Discord DM being like, "I think we've peaked as a matchup." So as far as a player, I know personally I can take him. But as part of a team, I haven't seen too much of his play. Obviously, outside of the first tournament where he teamed with Toph. I know he's a very good player, though. Like, he's among the better players that I've played with in terms of new players. And yeah, dude's good. And I mean, I haven't played too much with Esper. All I really know about Esper is that he's the one who set me up with Snow Rise. But I've been told he's also quite a good player as well. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be a fun match to play against.
What about you, Blazy?
Esper's pretty good. We used to play a lot in Discord. Sorry, not Discord, in a Facebook group. But I haven't seen him online, like actively for, I don't know, maybe a month. I know he streams often, but
Yeah,
he hasn't lost his touch or anything like that. He still plays pretty well.
he's still been pretty active, like in Discord and stuff. I wonder. I mean, maybe he's just been busy, and I haven't seen as much of Critter either in the past, month or so since the signups for this tournament. But I wonder if they've been like practicing a lot in secret because they're both highly motivated players, and I know that they had been playing a lot, and so I wonder if they have like a scrim partner or something, and they've been practicing a lot in secret or practicing in 1v1s. So that we could maybe expect big things out of that team. I would probably rate them as making top 8
Yeah.
with an outside shot for top 4.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
agreed.
gonna go against the grain here. I'm gonna say Esper
Oh,
tilted last round and misses top 8.
Dang.
That's bold. You know what? I'll agree with you because I don't want to make you. I don't want to. I want to make your opinion less polarized. I think they might not make it. Who knows?
Esper
I
the
don't think-
Tilt Lord.
as for the Tilt Lord.
Rise has a new challenger. Interesting. Interesting. Well, we'll have to see how it shakes out. I'm excited to see that team play. Next, we've got Sleppy and Fat Nerd.
Both players are actually pretty good, but I don't think they will get like to top 8. Maybe they can, but I don't think they're like. This is a tough competition field. I'm not sure if they will make it, but they could like scrape by. I think. I don't think they're. I think they could scrape by. Who knows? But I don't think they. It's gonna be hard for them. I think.
It's another team without a veteran, which we have. It looked like 6 to 8 that don't have any veterans, but there were several of those that we just don't know them at all.
Mm-hmm.
I would say out of the non-veteran teams, they're probably top 2, with the other one probably being you and Shimbly. How would you rate Sleppy and Fat Nerd versus you and Shimbly?
Jesse, you there?
Oh, sorry. What was the question? I
How
zoned
would
out.
you rate Sleppy and Fat Nerd versus you and Shimbly?
Okay, that was the question. Okay, I'm sorry. You know what? I think they could have a slight advantage over us, but I think I could probably beat Fat Nerd, maybe Shimbly as well. But I think Pakov is the one I think I'm gonna have to like look out for. I think Pakov. I was hoping to get a game with Pakov like during the previous Guild War, like the most recent one we did with 30AA, but there was some connectivity issues. So like. if it comes to that match, I think it's gonna be pretty even. I would look forward to it. I'm hoping I win that. I think we might have an advantage, but but also Pakov could have something up his sleeve. Who knows?
All right. Let's just go down the list here. Schleppy and Fat Nerd would probably be my Flat Nerd. Bad
Oh my
Nerd.
God.
I've just got too many like meme nicknames for this guy. Typical gamer, Fat Nerd, Bad Nerd.
Damn. I mean, Fat Nerd was partner of Zmixy like last tournament.
Yeah, I think I would peg this as probably my best non-veteran team. But I want to know whether everybody else thinks this team will make top 8. So if this is our best non-vet team, will a non-vet team make top 8? And is it Pakov and Fat Nerd? What do you think? Blazy top 8 or no?
I think yes. If they just stay completely focused. Fat Nerd, well, from my point of view, he runs some type of jank, but not OP type of jank. Like nothing stupid, like an actual strategy. And he's very patient. And then patient is always a good thing, especially in competitive gameplay. I have not played with Sleepy Miss or seen their playstyle at all. But if Fat Nerd continues to play the way that they do, then I definitely see them surprising everybody, pulling off some interesting stuff. So I would say top 8 just for that.
All right. Pippo, top 8 or no? Can this non-veteran team make top 8?
I think, and look, this sounds like an insult or like shade or like drama. I'm not meaning to start shit. I think it's going to completely depend on how Pakov plays.
Very true.
When looking back at what many considered to be the biggest upset from last tournament, and looking back at that game specifically and how it was ran, I feel as if the aggression specifically from Pakov got him killed and put his partner in a bad spot a lot of the time. And I don't think, especially going into battles against vet teams and players who maybe have had a little bit more time to coordinate strategies, that's going to work. So I think if Pakov goes a little bit more defensive in this tournament, it could work out. I know Fat Nerd's a competent player. He can definitely work well in whatever team. I remember him telling me that they haven't had much time to prepare, but I hope they have gotten that time in at least and have been able to really make something of the time they had. Because I think they can make it in if that's the case.
I haven't seen as much of Pakov, but I know Fat Nerd has been really putting in the hours and getting a lot of games in versus veterans lately.
Yeah.
Also, very long streams from Fat Nerd, I remember. So
yeah. We were part of like 6-hour ones, I remember. Something along those lines.
Nice.
Yeah, so maybe Fat Nerd could just surprise us. Who knows?
Yeah, but I think the team strat, their ability to succeed in the tournament is going to completely depend on how Pakov plays. If he goes aggressive, I don't think it's going to work out for him.
All right.
Yeah, I actually thought Fat Nerd was a vet. I didn't realize that he was new.
Nope, new player from the UK. We did not have any EU players before the Discord video. Or the Nick Robinson video. All right.
I think Pakov is also EU, right?
Yeah.
I can't remember. Is it Paco or is it Pakov?
Pakov Sleppy is their in-game name? Yeah?
Yeah, but I always thought it was just like an extra letter thrown in there and his name was Paco.
Yeah, it's either Paco or
Because
Pakov.
Paco is like a common Hispanic nickname.
Yeah. I
Is Pakov a thing somewhere? Like I hadn't heard that previously.
I think it's only because of the capitalization, right? That people are like, oh yeah, it's Pakov, not Paco.
Somebody needs to find. I'm going to assign Jesse to investigate this. And then tell me. This is your job.
My job. I'm sorry.
You're not getting
I
paid
got
for
busy
this
with
job.
Uni. You know I'm
This
busy with
is the
university.
first Club Baroness with homework. I have to make a rap song, and Jesse has to figure out what Paco's name is.
All right, listen. If you I will
give
investigate
everybody
this
something
on the
after
condition
this.
that I get to return next week or like the next time we do the podcast. Deal?
Sure. Yeah. If you're available whenever I'm doing the podcast, I'd be happy to have you on again.
All right, thank you. All right, I'll get to work. I'll send the DM right now. All right.
Is there anybody that hasn't voted on whether Sleppy and Fat Nerd make top 8? Everybody's voted? Okay. All right. Final team, which I would say is one of our other, 3 or 4 tournament favorites, is Guinan and Zemigzi. Who wants to go first on this one?
I'll take it. Yeah, I've actually played a game with Zemixi and done some Arsenal tech with her. She's got ideas that aren't seen with from any of the vets or any other players that I've seen, as far as like using levitate as a defensive skill. And there's just interesting ideas for Arsenal builds around that around levitate, and that I haven't that I haven't seen other players do. So it's definitely something to look out for, and I definitely slot them for top 8.
Yeah, I mean, Guinan is one of the other small handful of players that would be in discussion for best player of all time. So that's already a big heavyweight in that corner. He's also been, one of my longest time friends. He's who taught me how to play Phantom Dust. So it goes all the way back. It was him and Eldavio, PDDCM, who I also played in several tournaments with. They were both the two that taught me, but primarily Guinan, more than PDDCM, taught me how to play Phantom Dust. And he is an extremely good technical player, one of the best mechanically there is. And he is also, I would rate him as one of the top 3 minds of Phantom Dust too, when it comes to arsenal building and strategizing. There are very few that rank in his caliber when it comes to that, and I would say that's his primary strength over everything else, is that he's a very, very technically minded player when it comes to that, more so than any of the other S tier players, I would say. Zemigzi also I would rate as one of my top 5 out of the new players, and she has shown a lot of growth even since the last tournament. They had some weaknesses in that first tournament with Fat Nerd. Fat Nerd was definitely playing more of the front man, while Zemigzi was she was kind of finding herself, it felt like, in that tournament. And then I told Guinan, if you were considering Zemigzi as a partner whenever the signups were first going live, that I would want to see Zemigzi become their own player and play more independently and be able to brawl on their own. And that is something that you've definitely seen. Zemigzi's had a lot of growth since that first tournament, and plays very well and has become much more mechanically sound. So I think that is one of the scariest teams in the tournament, and like Xanxus and Sam, we should expect to see them at least in semifinals. What about you, Blazy?
I feel the same way. Zemixi came a long way from building arsenals that was overflown to now the arsenals look good, like 15-15, 16-14, good 2-score. Like, everything's looking real good. They evolved in a quick time too, I might add. And as far as him being the best, player, it's gonna be a tough one. Fighting them is gonna be really tough.
I think they're going to be a very strong team. I think they've got a solid shot at being one of the favorites here. And out of these teams too, there's a couple that you've really seen putting in a lot of work, and Guinan and Zemigzi alongside, Xanxus and Surreal Sam, just, not just the names themselves and their skill levels, but they've also been putting in a lot of work. You see them on a lot and playing together a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Shadow Shield and Sin Dark Fates is another team we've seen putting in a lot of time.
To give you an idea of how seriously they're taking it, they had an actual skirmish match with Macedon and also Shimbly, and they were just testing out their actual tournament level arsenals, and I got a sneak peek of that actually because I was with Shimbly as my partner. So I think they still have some stuff to work out when I remember watching them, and I think also Zmixie was a bit uncomfortable with the fact that the arsenal she's using is kind of still issues. But I think I have a feeling that Guinan has probably figured out the issues and that they have something really good coming up, I think. So I would look forward to what Zmixi has in store for us. I think Zmixi and Geignan's team. I think they have. I think they're gonna do. They're gonna get to the finals, and I actually do think that they're going to win. If I get eliminated, that's the team I'm gonna be rooting for sure.
All right. I think we've covered all the teams now. Is there anybody that wants to chime in on this one still? Spectre,
I mean,
Pippo?
everything's pretty much been said that I wanted to say for this. Again, Zmixi's come a really long way. Guinan's a really good player. I don't know much about strategy when it comes to them. We might see Zmixi in another sort of defensive, supportive role, while Gagnon does a lot of the brute forcing. We could see that. We could see something that's a little bit more 50-50. We'll have to see, but I'm excited again to see them. I think that'll be a fun match to play as well.
All right, last topic then, and we'll do this brief. I want your favorite to win the tournament, so the team that you think is the favorite, and then your dark horse, the team that you don't think others will have pegged as a tournament favorite, but you think has a solid shot at winning. So let's start with LiteSpectre.
I don't know. I would take Toph as dark horse. I don't think other people believe that Toph has the capability to focus, and I think that if there's money on the line, that's $400 for a 14-year-old. That's a lot of money. But as far as as just Xanxus is probably just the strongest overall player. I think so. So that's gonna pull a lot for like actual victor.
Okay, Blazy, your dark horse and your tournament favorite.
Okay, can I pick two dark horses?
Yes, okay. I want to hear both.
Sure.
Cool. So I would say Toph triple or Toph. Mainly because he's been playing with a handicap the whole time. So I still feel like we haven't seen his full potential. And Fat Nerd for sure. I really want to see what he pulls out. And who do I think is gonna win?
Yeah, your tournament favorite.
I'm gonna say Snow Rise. Mainly because his personality trait and just the way he plays. I know, even though I say like sometimes he might not be serious and he's just playing casual to have fun, but his energy can boost the morale of whatever situation he's in and just turn the whole match around.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be pretty interesting.
Okay, Jesse.
Okay, so the team, like my dark horse, I think is going to go to Nguyen and L. I kind of think they will. Maybe they're just going to be blowing just the whole competition out of the way. Maybe they'll do that. So I think there's obviously a lot better veterans, and I think we're going to be looking at those. But I think both of them might be doing very well together, and I got a taste of that. So I want to I'm going to put a bet that they're going to do very well. And I kind of hope they do. And I said already, like, who I think is going to win, and that's going to be Zmixi's team. So go Zmixi.
All right, Guinan and Zmixi. Pippo.
I've been in a Google Docs, like, sort of putting everyone down and seeing where I feel like they would be. I think I got it.
I want to see that doc after this.
Sure.
Yeah.
We'll put it up here. I kind of ranked my top 8 whenever we were talking about Fat Nerd because I was thinking about who they would have to beat to make top 8. So I've got my own internal top 8 I could compare.
Yeah, hold on. I'll grab the link while I'm talking about this. There we go. For tournament favorite, I'm gonna give it to Xanxus and Surreal Sam. I think both of them are just really solid technical players, and their synergy they've been working on. So between that, like, if they're putting in the time and they're both already really good players, I think that's just a no-brainer for me. And for my dark horse, I gotta respect Eaton Blazy's team. For all we've so far, like, I think they really do have a good shot of winning this thing. I really genuinely that.
Eaton Blazy. Okay. I guess for me, I'll admit some biases. I think my team that I'm rooting for and the team that I'm going to be living through vicariously is Guinan and Zmixi. because of our close friendship for so long. But if I had to pick my favorite out of those two, big heavyweight S tier players, Xanxus never stopped playing. Guinan did for a long time. So Xanxus has the advantage here in that regard, and then also just in his tournament results. When you start factoring in the players they have with them, I think both of them have potential top 5 players out of the new players. So it makes it hard for me to weight it there. So I still have to give a slight tip to Xanxus and Surreal Sam as the favorites for the tournament. My dark horse, it's a little controversial calling it dark horse because I would say they're kind of close to being, a third, fourth favorite would be Shadow Shield and Sin Dark Fates. I think if they've put in enough time and they play around Shadow Shield's style, that Shadow Shield's weakness generally in tournaments is that he can get abused by some of the top tier players, but in a mixed partner tournament, he's not going to be as abusable. And if Sin and Shadow work together and play around that style, Shadow Shield has been, more than anybody, the dark horse that upsets the biggest teams or the biggest players in 1v1 tournaments, and they have a shot to do it here in this tournament. And I think they could surprise us and take the tournament. Now, Pippo, I want to see your list.
Yeah, I put the link in the.
Okay, here we are.
I've got a top 8 and then my prediction.
You put yourself in top 8. That's
I did.
Wow.
Look. I
want to know your top 8 without you, though.
Okay. If it wouldn't be without me, I'd probably replace it with. Let me look back at the GG list.
I don't have the. I used to have a thing that I could split screen 2 tabs. I don't think I have that, whatever you call it, extension anymore.
I'd probably give the last slot to Nguyen and L. I think they
deserve that slot.
Yeah.
All right. So when I was looking at it, could Fat Nerd and Paco make it in? My top 8 goes pretty easily. Xanxus and Sam, Guinan and Zamigzi. This is in no particular order. I'm just looking at the names here.
Mine isn't either.
L and Nguyen, Critter and Esper. So that's 4, right? And then I go back to the first page. I would put Shadow Shield and Sin, Blazy and Eat, Toph and Triple, and then probably Mario and RTS would be my 8th place there. After that, you've got a couple of other mixed teams that are still pretty good. Rise and Pippo, Ska Boss and Armyman could really surprise. And then I think there was one other that I had my eyes on. I'm not seeing them. So for a non-veteran team like Jesse and Shinbly or Sleppy and Fat Nerd, I think that there are 7 teams that I don't really see them finishing above, which Xanxus Sam, Critter Esper, Kale, Nguyen, Guinan Zamigzi, Toph Triple, Shadow Sin, Blazy and Treat. So I'd say those 7, I don't think that those other teams will finish above them. After that, though, you still have 3 more. So 8 through 10 in my rankings would be Mario RTS, Armyman, Scalboss, and then Snowrise Pippo. So that's still 3 teams you've got to work your way through that I think I would still favor against non-veteran teams. So it's a tough ask for one of those 2 to make top 8, but with some luck, I think either one could.
Yeah. I think my biggest factor in putting... I put Jesse and Shinbly in here, but, it could go to Packoff and Fat Nerd. My biggest thing, especially with evaluating a lot of the teams, some of them are just pure skill. It's been time and communication. If the teams, I haven't seen them put in a lot of time, or they're just starting to get their footing now, a couple days before the tournament, I don't have as much faith in them at surviving something like a coordinated onslaught, as much as it will be to have 2 players who have been working at it constantly for the past couple of weeks. So that might be a bias of mine there, but I think it actually will come up rather often, at least from the experience I've had playing with Rise.
Yeah, I think you and Rise are one of my alternates for 8th place. Anybody else feel differently on the top 8 or want to talk about his top 8 versus the top 8 I listed?
I think I'd probably agree with like Pippo's ranking, honestly. I think he's pretty fair about it.
Blazy, what do you think? Do you think Mario and RTS, because we played with them earlier, do you think they'll make the top 8 and take that last 8th place, or, you know, not necessarily 8th place specifically, but the last spot in the top 8?
I think they probably take the last top, but he's gonna have to do like just a lot of training in a little short amount of time. Because no, like just from what we saw, in my point of view, RTS, he might just have to, literally be assigned to do this specifically during the match, because they don't have like no time to. They didn't have no time to really train, and I really feel like that's gonna be a big deal.
All right. Well, I think that mostly wraps us up for the podcast.
There's one more thing. Toph did want you to what's it called? To voice act that line.
Oh,
That was the other person. I don't know who that is though.
It does. I think they're in
Yeah,
the
Toph
Discord.
DM'd me about it just to remind you.
I was going to do that. I was actually coming around to that. So I'll do that in a second. I do want to know who that is, because it said it was their first time posting in my stream chat, so they hadn't posted there before. I'm not sure how to pronounce. Is that Idod Hack? I don't know. It's just
I do the
letter
hack.
vomit.
Maybe,
I
don't
do the
know.
hack.
I do the hack. Okay. Who are you in the Discord?
Oh. I think they might go.
Yes,
I
you.
feel like
Sitting here stumbling over your letter vomit that you consider a name.
Yeah, they go by the same thing in the Discord.
Do the hack?
Oh.
Okay, I guess I just haven't seen you in Discord before. All right. Let's see. Okay,
Oh, there's the thing.
before I fulfill the
There they
meme,
are.
is there anything anybody would like to say? Final parting shots.
Yeah.
Okay, who do what's the dark horse of the players we don't know about, actually? Like,
How
Just a
do you call a
complete
dark horse
unknown.
of that if nobody knows them?
I don't know, just base it on names. Oh, we got
The
Toph here.
invisible.
Oh, God.
Still. Oh, hi.
Hello. They left.
Yep, that's a Toph appearance.
Wow. What actually, Bregan? I want to know what's the matchup you are like most excited to commentate.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
that'd be
matchups we're most excited to see. That could be a final topic. We could do that real quick.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
just pick two teams you just want to see. It's like either just first round or second round. Like, I don't care. Like, you want to see a matchup between them. Who would you choose, basically? Just a random matchup.
I mean, there's plenty that I want to see. Like, you want to see Guinan and Zamixi versus Sam and Xanxus, some of those other top teams. I think one that I would really enjoy would be Toph and Triple versus Sin and Shadow Shield. I think that would be a really fun one to watch.
A Toph and Triple versus Snowrise and Pippo.
Yo.
That would be dope.
I mean, I'd just love to see Snowrise play anybody that whoops his butt, because I just drink that man's salty tears. I subsist on a diet solely of Rise tears. It's how I sustain myself. What are some other matchups? Let's see. Who hasn't come in? Let's see. Pippo, who's your matchup you would like to see the most?
Aside from a matchup between like two of the teams I know nothing about, because I feel like that'd just be fun to watch. I think the high level games are going to be the thing that I want to see. Specifically, I do want to see how Eat and Blazy would fare against like Xanxus and Surreal Sam. I think that'd be an interesting paradigm.
That'd be another tough fight.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm like the exact opposite. I want to see people like the newbies that we don't know facing off against each other. But I mean that's gonna be kind of hard
It's
because it probably won't be streaming. But like it's stuff like that that's like we're gonna see how Phantom Dust is really played. Like you get one psycho knife and then you beat up on somebody 20 times.
Yeah, that's fair. So the one who suggested it. I mean, I kind of want to see the matchup between myself and Slappy, I think, just because it kind of seems like we're us two for like vying for that 8th slot, if at all. But besides that, I think I would also, I guess it would be kind of interesting if we had Toph's team against Critter's team, just pair the two
Yo,
winners
yeah,
against each other, see
that'd be
which of the
cool.
two actually
That would
is
be a fun
better.
matchup. That would be a fun
Mhm.
matchup. I agree. All right. Is there anybody that hasn't done their dream matchup? No, it looks like we got everybody's dream matchups then. All right. I have put this off long enough. Okay. Do I need to do this like, is it just a deep voice or do you want like Liam Neeson impression?
I
I got to look up the full quote too because I didn't. I don't
okay.
have-
While you do that, I just want to say I have. I mean, I guess I could plug my thing if that's okay.
Plug what?
The spreadsheet that I made the junk
Oh.
draft. spreadsheet.
Oh, you did? Yeah, that's sick. That's really cool.
Yeah, People's
Oh,
got a
so-
chance to use it. I've updated it a little bit since then. So what it does now, it generates packs, so we don't have to like
Oh,
go into the game to get the packs.
Sure. If you drop a link, I'll pull it up on the stream.
It's just it's just a Google Doc that is if you ever drafted packs of Magic cards. This is essentially this is essentially the same thing except in Phantom Dust form. So you much like booster packs of Magic, Phantom Dust has packs of junk, and a draft is where you take one card and you pass the rest to the next person. I'll post it in general. The link to the to the
In general, you're
to
gonna
the-
make me go look for it. What's wrong with you?
Wow.
So here's a sheet. It'll let it'll let players. It'll basically handle all the draft stuff and generate the packs for you. And you can make if you get 4 players in there, everyone gets a sheet, and then it'll pick and pull the packs, the cards from the packs into a pool for each player.
Oh, very cool.
And I figured out the rarity weighting of the individual skills by basically buying like several hundred packs of junk and then looking at the distribution, and from there I extrapolated into how the formula that Baroness Dust uses to determine skill rarity. And then we've done this a few times. People played the format with me. It's kind of janky, but it's fun.
I
Yeah.
played in draft tourneys back in the day. I enjoyed it. But coming from somebody who's made like over 500 Phantom Dust videos, way too much effort, bro. Like, what?
Look, I just really wanted to do this.
All right, I am going to do the full quote, and if anybody ever asks me if I did this, I'm going to pretend it never happened.
I'll clip it on Twitch.
Oh.
Just so you can
Yeah.
immortalize it.
All right, I pulled up the full quote. Okay. Wait, let me see. Is painfully deep? Oh gosh, I don't know if I can do painfully deep. I don't know if I even have that deep of voice. I have kind of a high voice.
You should try that.
No, your voice is pretty deep sometimes.
I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want. If you are looking for ransom, I can tell you I don't have money. But what I do have are a very particular set of skills. Skills I have acquired over a very long career. Skills that make me a nightmare for people like you. If you let my daughter go now, that'll be the end of it. I will not look for you. I will not pursue you. But if you don't, I will look for you. I will find you. And I will psychoburst you.
Bravo.
There
I
it is.
think that's a good
Shadow
time to end it.
Shield. Okay. Oh, gosh. I'm going to do like cringe backflips.
Oh my god, that was extremely painful to listen to, and I loved it.
Incredible.
It hurt. It
You know
hurt.
what? Okay, so Bregan, I just want to say thank you for inviting me here. I'm really glad I got the opportunity just to chat here on this podcast, just to talk all about just Phantom Dust and just like the upcoming tournament. So yeah, thank you very much for offering this.
No, it was a pleasure to have all of you here on the podcast. I'd be happy to have any of you as guests in the future. We'll probably try and squeeze in a podcast next week in between rounds if we can get some availability.
I could try next week again. I could visit again if I, for sure, yeah.
We'll probably do it at a similar time because I usually have to wait when I host these until my kid's gone to bed. So it would be one of those evenings around 7 PST. So thanks again for everybody coming, and have a good night.
You as well. Thank you everybody for watching, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Oh wait, this isn't YouTube. No, it's still
hit the sub button. Sub the Bregan. Do